Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast, episode number 163.
Whatever. Fine.
Definitely wasn't opening Firefox to check. We're back. We have the normal crew. We got a whole bunch of stuff on the docket, so we're just going to go right into introducciones because on my right.
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And on my left.
Only just same Tyler.
I can't wait, now that I've gotten married, I can't wait for you guys to get married and for the other two of us to just stand up and be like, look, it's Friedman, mostly sometimes known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
Oh, God. That's why you're not getting invited.
Announcements of the wedding speeches.
Guys, we got to do the Weeb shit live from the wedding table.
Doing it live.
DJ, pause the music. We got to do the podcast live recording.
And then everybody just watches us while we sit at the table.
I'm not gonna lie.
Fucking snowball in the center.
Every time I'm on like a conference call, and everyone's like, "Everyone, please introduce themselves." I have to resist the urge to use the podcast intro.
Amazing. Well, I was trying to think as you were saying that of a way to transition into this first topic, but there really isn't a way. But much to the internet's pure joy, and to the flood of memes about this versus Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC announced in the funniest, most like who gives a fuck way possible. Literally from software at a random time on a random Thursday morning in Japan just tweets, hey, the DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree is in development, and one picture, and drops the mic and walks away.
Oh wait, it was just a development.
It was literally a tweet.
Oh, I thought they put a date on it. I didn't realize it's in development.
No, there's no date. It was just a tweet. There might have been more since then. I don't think so though. But there was literally just a picture of Millennia on Torrent, the horse or the creature you ride in the game, and then them saying the name of the DLC. And that was the whole thing. Random Thursday morning, no preamble, nothing. And then immediately the memes start flowing of Hogwarts Legacy, like the one I remember is seeing Andy dropping Woody. And it's gamers, and it's Hogwarts Legacy, and he's holding up Buzz, which is Elden Ring DLC, and they're like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Honestly, when you're still the #1 game, you can pull off shit like this and it just works. You gotta spend zero money on marketing because all your fans will do it for you.
Yes. And we probably won't get this. This might not even come out this year. It's probably going to come out end of this year, but it might not come out this year.
Yeah, it could go a while.
It wildly depends on how big this DLC is, because like in the previous Dark Souls games, the DLC usually is pretty substantial, and honestly, usually the best bosses in the entire game are in that DLC.
So I'm reading off the wiki here, and they're speculating that because the expansion has its own logo, that it's going to be a massive expansion, and I really like this deep level of speculation they have going on.
I mean, Vati Vidya, probably the most famous Dark Souls video lore guy, has like a 15-minute video about it, and I'm sure he has like speculation and inside knowledge he might have, but like, Jesus Christ, it was literally a tweet and a picture.
Damn.
So yeah, we're getting the Elden Ring DLC. I still haven't beat the main game. I honestly don't know if I ever will. It's just too big of a fucking game.
Probably won't.
Like, I kind of just want to go back and replay a Dark Souls game instead of playing Elden Ring.
Damn.
I don't know.
Way to give up, quitter.
Hey, I finally beat a video game. We're going to get to that later, but I finally beat a video game that came out in the calendar year.
Quitter.
I'm replaying that game right now. Speaking of replaying a game, or more specifically, never going to play this game ever. To no fanfare whatsoever, despite a big marketing push, if I remember correctly. Tyler, do you know anyone who played Forspoken?
Forspoken?
Why did I say Forsaken? I literally stole the wrong...
Forsaken.
I probably put that because I probably put it down as a joke and forgot. Damn. As much as everyone forgot this game already. Forspoken.
I don't know. I played the demo of Forspoken, and I was like, eh, it could use some work, but we'll see. And I even said, let's see. I even looked at Michelle. I was like, let's see how the reviews turn out and some gameplay, and I'll see how it goes.
Oh god.
Well,
And
it went about as well as after 1 month of release, Square Enix said, hey, we're shutting down the studio and we're moving all the people into other divisions so that we don't fire anybody, but the studio is getting shuttered and people are moving around.
Yup.
I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Luminous Studios was just the one that was specializing in the Final Fantasy 15 engine. And after this game, I think they've just decided they're not investing in the engine anymore. So a lot of it was just like, we don't really need a team dedicated to an engine we're not using anymore.
I think this game became such a fucking meme on the internet that they were like, and it was just not selling, and they were like, because it's still full price, by the way. This game is still $70 to buy.
Yeah, if they wanted to shift the studio to be like, okay, go use Unreal now, that'd be fine. But I think they've lost any type of positive brand recognition around Luminous Studios. That there's just no point in keeping
this game killed anything.
Division.
The amount of memes about the main character in this game.
I can move shit with my mind.
What's even worse though is that Hi-Fi Rush came out around the same time with no marketing. And
none. And I think we talked about maybe on the last podcast. Because
we talked about it on an episode.
I think it was Tyler. If you think about it, this news came out like a week or two after the last podcast, and it was the 1 month of the game coming out. So probably the last podcast is when I was like, "Hey, Hi-Fi Rush is supposed to be amazing. Is half the price. Comes from the guys who made Evil Within, and is outselling Forspoken on Steam."
Yeah, we definitely spoke about this on the podcast.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, so. Never gonna get a sequel. Never gonna get DLC. Probably never even gonna get a patch if there's any bugs still in that game.
They gotta do the DLC actually.
What?
So that's one thing I guess we missed that I just remembered. So they are dissolving the team, but only after the DLC is made. because because people bought special editions.
Oh, that has the DLC already included.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they have to finish it. They're contractually obligated to finish it.
Good lord.
Genuine question, why not refund the difference of the special edition?
I think it's too much of a...
It's too much.
It's like...
Some lawyer in Square Enix is like, that opens us to legal obligations. It's better to just spend the money and finish the game, blah, blah, blah.
Look, Square is still releasing their NFT game like next week. They and the sunk cost fallacy are go hand in hand together.
I can't. So let's never mention that NFT game ever again after that mention on the podcast.
But it's launched with over 10,000 unique assets.
Well, didn't that guy? Didn't he get like let go or some shit like that? Like,
so yes, the CEO was replaced, but like he's not being replaced with one who doesn't agree with the previous CEO. It's getting replaced with the guy who pushed all these projects in the first place.
Yeah, it's the change without a difference. It's just another guy who still loves the shit out of NFTs is now running Square Enix.
Jesus.
Yep.
This is rough.
Thank God the people who run Final Fantasy are basically apparently every interview they're in, they're like, nah, we're not doing any of that shit.
Yeah, Yoshi P is the savior
of
Square Enix at the moment.
He is the savior.
He is the bedrock.
He will redeem us. More like redeem Square Enix, I guess, or at least not even them, just Final Fantasy.
He's got to hold down the fort for the next couple decades until Final Fantasy VII Part 2 comes out.
Oh, good lord! Yeah, and then Nomura can fuck up Final Fantasy VII even more.
Nah, man, we got Kingdom Hearts 4 coming. He's got other things he can cleanly fuck up.
Freeman, the ghosts already are real in Final Fantasy VII, so I don't know what you think is going to happen here. Honestly, let's be real. Nomura wrote this Final Fantasy VII like 3 years ago. Or, yeah, hell, with how long that's been out, like 5 years ago, all of Final Fantasy VII got written.
So the fact that they're committed to 3 parts tells me that they already have most of the structure.
That's what I mean
entirely.
Yeah, that shit's already been decided. Now he can go fuck up Final Fantasy. It's Kingdom Hearts again.
No, he still has to decide. Am I gonna not kill Aerith just to piss everyone off for no fucking reason?
Bruh.
How much can we change?
Nah, she's gonna die. Oh my god, could you imagine? Could you imagine though? Nah, what it's gonna be is she gets saved in the moment she would have died, and then she dies anyway, like 5 minutes later.
If they subvert expectations, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really hope they learn from the criticism about part 1 that it's like, yes, you can tell a different story, but like it can't be that different.
But we just established they already have the structure in place.
Yes.
I mean, they can obviously rework things, but like, how is this? Never mind. This is not. We're not talking about Final Fantasy VII remake. We've talked about it more than enough times. Maybe in 3 more years we'll get
the 7 remake.
Yeah, it'll be 10 years before Part 3 comes out. So in 10 years, when when our kids are recording the next edition of the TNT podcast, then they'll be able to talk about the Final Fantasy VII remake being done.
All right, so I'm willing to bet 2024 we get part 2, and then the question is, can we get it the next part before 2028? I want to know.
When was the date for Part 1? How long has it
Part
been?
1 came out. It was mid-pandemic, right? So it was like beginning.
Yeah,
of
it was like
March or April 2019.
Yeah.
Freeman, you're forgetting when the pandemic was. It was 2020, my guy.
What did I just say?
2019.
Oh, sorry. I'm picturing. No, look, I'm picturing the correct time frame because I'm picturing myself playing at my old apartment, and I moved in like 3 months before the pandemic.
So 2019 is when it came out?
No. It was April 2020. It was beginning of pandemic.
Oh, okay.
I'm picturing.
I don't know, man. I feel like
year.
if it's coming next year, we're gonna hear about it this year.
Look, once they give me a solid release date, I will buy Final Fantasy 7 Intergrade to play that middle shit with Yuffie before this comes out. But until then, I will keep stalling for time.
Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna come out before Part 3. Freeman, how do you feel about that?
Damn.
That's a sentence I was never expecting to hear in my life. There's a very likely chance. Like it's 4 is going to come out before Part 3 does, definitely, because they've already shown up trailers for it.
I didn't say it to be a hot take. I just said it to throw the statement out into the world.
It really hurts.
It just kind of hurts. It just kind of hurts.
I know we're not supposed to be ranting about this, but like I need to talk about Kingdom Hearts very briefly here.
Oh
So,
no.
So
Neptune.
So you know how there's the weird mobile spin-off game like Kingdom Hearts Union and Kingdom Hearts Union Cross?
Yeah, the one
And
the
those
AI
ended up-
tier lists make fun of.
Yeah, they ended up playing a semi-significant role in Kingdom Hearts 3, so they made like a recap movie in the 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue collection. Apparently, all of that lore is going to be super important to 4, and I just do not give a shit about this mobile game lore. I take a lot of flack for having not played Chain of Memory before playing Kingdom Hearts 2, but like this is a whole nother level. Like this is they pay to play a mobile game with a storyline that's going to matter for 4, and I'm just not about this.
Damn, bro.
All right, my rant's over.
Man, I was not expecting to go down into this rabbit hole just talking about Forspoken getting shut down. We really skewed off. Let's drag it back to a pretty not shocking, but a pretty surprising headline.
Oh, this sounds cool.
So, fighting games have always been a meme in that, like, everyone knows they exist, but no one really commits to. It's a special kind of person who really commits to a fighting game.
Is very tightly knit and very passionate, but they're not very big or mainstream.
Yes, there's a reason most fighting games tend to die off pretty quick, unless it's like Dragon Ball Fighters, or like Street Fighter. In this case, Capcom is really throwing their weight behind Street Fighter 6 after what is apparently a very rough Street Fighter 5, supposedly. They are already saying that their Capcom Cup, I think it's called, which is going to be the first big tournament for Street Fighter 6. The winner, not the winner's pot, the winner will receive $1 million. And I think there's like 1.3 million in other prizes throughout the top 8. So this is huge. I have no interest in learning a fighting game, but everyone who owns a fight stick has to try to play Street Fighter 6, right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played one since 4, and I've kind of fallen off just I don't really like the aesthetic of modern Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is what they need to take the crown of fighting games, I think this will be it. Like,
you know, so one of my podcasts that I actually heard about this from brought up a very good point. You know what's on the horizon to really mess with fighting games? League's Project L, which is going to be their completely free fighting game using League of Legends characters. And that's going to shake things up a lot because there is no real free fighting game. They're all the $70, and then you buy the character packs and everything like that, and you know the League one is going to be free to play.
It depends if they're going for like traditional fighting game or if they're trying to do the like Smash Bros. Brawler type game, because we saw, and I don't want to say that multiverse.
I've watched the videos. I've watched the videos. Project L is a tag team of 2 people traditional fighting game.
Oh hell yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom. All right, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of discussion about fighting games dying out quickly when multiverses like fell off the face of the planet, and it was a huge discussion about the longevity of fighting games versus just multiverses being a bad video game. And it was very hard to like separate the arguments people were making. But yeah, with you get, the thing is, if you have this financial power, you get everyone like not fighting for the game, everyone training for this, and then you capture the streamer audience, which is 100% where your like video game playing promotion is right now. So I think this might just be a very solid marketing decision from Capcom.
Like I said, I think this is just, we're going to cement ourselves at the top. I think it was also leaked a little while ago that there is a new Mortal Kombat in development.
Oh yeah, the Warner Brothers investor call.
And then what was this wasn't even on here. What was it? Budokai Tenkaichi Dragon Ball, the third
we're getting
one?
Tenkaichi 4. So for some quick context, like Tenkaichi is not a traditional fighting game. Like,
no.
It's like if you've watched any of the more recent Hero Academia fighting games where like you're over the shoulder of a fighter.
You're flying around.
It's that kind of thing. That said, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was a launch title for the Wii, and I played the ever-living shit out of that game. That was a fun DBZ fighting game. It's not a competitive fighting game. It's like a single-player fighting game is what I would call it. And it was a lot of fun. I'm actually excited they're bringing this back.
Yeah, I know that the announcement was pretty huge when they said that. Man,
even though
I know Freeman.
I don't play fighting games.
Oh yeah, it's too bad Aiden's not here. He could probably talk to this more, but
it's more of an action game than anything.
No, oh yeah, Tenkaichi. I know that is. I meant to get back to Street Fighter stuff, but Freeman, I know we were talking about, to dart over to Dragon Ball for a second. I know we were talking on Sunday about people wanting Super 2. It has to happen eventually. These Dragon Ball games, every single Dragon Ball thing just sells too well.
So yes, it's going to happen. It's a question of when, and it's also a question of show or movie, because like Dragon Ball Super has its own manga that's been going on for a while, so they have plot lines they can already adapt that they know the audience has received well. So it's just a question of whenever Dragon Ball merch, video game, whenever all that nonsense starts to wane and they need to boost the IP,
immediately inject something into the veins of the populace.
Yeah. And we'll touch on this a bit when we get to what's going on with Naruto later in the Weeb shit. But like it's very like Toei Animation is very clearly in, we must maintain our IPs as opposed to like risk anything about them. So that's what they're doing with Dragon Ball.
Speaking of not taking risks whatsoever, another thing Capcom has done, Tyler.
Oh yeah, this was all during Capcom's like big announcement thing, because they're like, "Yo, fuck E3, we're just gonna throw a bunch of crazy shit at you. We got Street Fighter 6, and oh yeah, did we forget Resident Evil 4?" The demo came out.
Woo.
And like a ton of other shit too. Like there's like a ton of content now. And I'm like, man, I feel like I spoiled some of it for me, because there's so much. Like I played it, and it goes without saying that this shit slaps, like really fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to play it. Shit, you might not even see me again.
Uh-oh.
We'll see. I haven't been this excited for a game since Cyberpunk. So
the year is 2029. Final Fantasy VII Part 3 has not yet been released. Tyler is on his 99th consecutive Let's Play of Final Fantasy Resident Evil 4 remake.
I mean, it could replace the original Resident Evil 4 of my yearly play.
Damn.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
hold on. So I need to ask you a Resident Evil 4 question then.
Sure.
If this could replace it for you, is it that you love the story of 4, or is that just the gameplay from the remake feels so improved on the original that you think this will take over?
I don't actually know if I'll actually play this every year. Like, who the fuck knows?
You gotta play the whole thing.
I gotta play the whole thing, but I do like it so far. Like what I have played so far, it's really cool. But like, they made a bunch of improvements because it's supposed to be and I'm not talking about just 4, like I'm going off of the remake series that Capcom's been doing. And I thought 2 was really good. They started off with 2 and 3 was also fine, but it wasn't as good as 2 in my opinion. I think just because they were kind of making it out of spare parts maybe. I don't know. Um but 4 though, I feel like everything about it was just done from the ground up. Like the story was completely redone. Like the story beats are basically the same,
Mm-hmm.
but everything about it is different. The tone is much different too. Like Leon's like, yo, and in the original's like, yo, I am Special Agent Leon Kennedy. I'm here to rescue the president's daughter. And the remake's like, my name's Leon Kennedy. I'm a survivor of Raccoon City. Life is awful. Everything sucks.
Damn, they really
it's pretty
catered to their
wild.
modern adult audience.
Oh hell yeah, dude. It's great. But yeah, I like they improved a lot of things, and also like there's a lot of contextual things that they added that I also really like just from a presentation standpoint. Like Leon does certain things, like he reacts to his environment. And it's not just like, like in first person shooters, like modern ones, if you walk up to a wall, like they'll put their gun up or like their hand against the wall. Like he'll do that too, but he'll also like if he's walking next to a table, he'll put his hand over the like run his hand over the table as you're walking
Mm-hmm.
over it. He'll change his reload or he'll change his fighting stance. Like if you're shooting out to distance, he'll put both of his hands in like that isosceles like forward motion. And if you are shooting someone who is close to you, he'll change his shooting stance to I'm a fucking gun nerd, so I know this. Also, I looked it up after it was in John Wick, but he'll change to a center axis relock, which is like used for close quarters combat. It's pretty cool. Like it's just like these little things
Like
that they
attention to
did.
detail.
Yeah, like these attention to detail, but like I said, like Leon is reacting to his environment, and I just think that's pretty neat. Like they added a bunch of crazy shit. Uh, like just as a game, like it's really cool. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah, you can play the demo. It's like not long. I recommend it.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's good.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
we only need one person being salty about their beloved franchise on this podcast.
yeah.
Resident Evil's been hitting pretty good with these remakes. The 3 remake wasn't amazing, right, Tyler? But they had none of them
Yeah.
been bad for sure.
No, I don't think remake was amazing, but it wasn't bad. Resident Evil 2 remake was fantastic. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam.
Nice.
Probably all the memes, but who knows? Um, but and that's not, and then now I want to talk about this too, this next one,
Yeah, go
because
for
Starfield. So at least we're getting some games that are on time with their release dates, unlike
it.
Starfield, which is it's been delayed again to September 6th.
So what's funny? Not Starfield is the news story here, but actually there was another delay announced like today or yesterday that the System Shock remake
Oh,
is also delayed like a month at literally the last second.
damn. It's fine. I'd rather it be delayed. Because
I
I actually
forget.
do want to give System Shock a try,
Mm-hmm.
because I tried playing System Shock 2, and I'm like, man, this is so fucking dated.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
yeah.
Have you played System Shock?
Oh God, no.
I remember when I was a kid and that game came out, and the graphics cards at the time were using that game as promotion. Like the AI chick, I don't know her name, but like they're plastering like her face to like whatever the fuck. I think it was like I forget what graphics card it was, but I would see all that promotion for it though. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I got my graphics card. Anthem was the game everyone was promoting.
Oh god.
Oh,
That shit aged
God,
poorly.
yeah.
Aged like fine milk.
Ugh.
Dude. Yeah, but Starfield, I've been waiting for Starfield. But I'm not upset by it, I think, because one, I'm like, whatever, it's Bethesda. I guess I'm not too shocked. Also, I have a ton of games that are gonna keep me occupied anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Are you guys? I know Tim, you might be interested. I know Freeman might not be.
So I originally wasn't, but the more I look into the aesthetic of this game, because like I haven't played Skyrim myself, but I've like watched Let's Plays of it a lot, so I get how Bethesda does games, and I feel like if they took the sci-fi angle, I might actually really enjoy it. So I'm keeping close tabs on this. I just want to wait until I can see some gameplay footage to say like, would I actually enjoy
Excuse
this?
me.
And then I'm pretty sure this is coming to Game Pass, right? Like day one.
Probably.
Yeah, I may just
That, you
subscribe to
know
Game
what?
Pass just to try it, and then see what else is on Game Pass too while
Tim's
I'm
like,
there.
fuck it, I'm
No,
gonna play it.
that's the thing. I wouldn't play it, but if it's going to be on Game Pass, then fuck it. I might as well just install it.
Because at the same time, that would inspire me to just figure out this game streaming shit and then Steam Deck it. just to see if I could, not because it's the optimal way to play,
Not because he should, but because
but
he
because I could.
could.
God damn it.
It's not even a good idea. He just wants to try it.
I'm just curious if it's possible here. And actually, quick tangent, just so the listeners know, because I think I've already told both of you independently. I was curious if I could get Switch emulation working on the
Oh,
Steam
yeah.
Deck the other day. So I tried it with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it just straight up just did not work as intended.
Sick.
It also kind of convinced me that, hey, even if I were to eventually play Scarlet and Violet, I'm still really, really not going to like the aesthetics of this game. But it was nice enough to know what the limits of emulation currently are on Steam Deck, and I'm curious if a year from now, if they figure out the emulators and get it like really working correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. It'll be interesting to follow that,
Yeah.
regardless of my thoughts on Pokemon.
Regardless. Irregardless. Alright.
Um,
Maybe we could figure it out anyway at some point, who knows.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. Obviously, my one YouTube video I did like literally 10 years ago that I still get it every once in a blue moon, like every year I get one comment on, was my why I got bored with Skyrim video.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Skyrim just I lost interest. Oblivion's one of probably still in the running for my favorite game of all time, and it just lost interest for me. It just didn't keep my interest. It was so boring feeling.
Get into it. You just need to install a fuck ton of mods.
Yeah, that's what I did for Oblivion, except I wanted to do it for Oblivion.
You ever want to kill Tom's the Tank Engine?
No, I want to like shut the jaws of Oblivion, my guy. But Tyler, we're talking about games that are coming. But there is something that's coming out like what, this weekend?
Nah, it's next week. Is John Wick?
John
Wick. Actually, it's really funny.
Johannes Wick.
Two things that pique my interest the highest are coming out next week because Resident Evil 4 is coming out next week.
Oh shit.
And John Wick is coming out next week.
Next week is Tyler Week.
Is Tyler?
Is it though?
Who the fuck knows, honestly.
Hey.
So reviews are out for Chapter 4, for John Wick
Uh-huh.
Chapter 4. Let me say that, and they're all super positive. Now, for you guys who remember better than me, we talked about it a little bit, and I was like, man, I'm not really looking forward to this movie.
You did.
I did, and honestly, my opinions haven't changed. I literally looked, and IGN. I want to mention this. IGN gave it a 10. Which I think is absolutely
Wild.
fucking absurd. Absurd. But then again, I don't listen to IGN really, because I think they're just paid shills. But
Yeah.
I looked, and apparently not everybody maybe shares the same, this is a 10 out of 10 banger, right? But they're all giving very positive, high positive reviews on this movie. And I think it's crazy because this shit's fucking almost 3 hours long, it said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not looking forward to that. And it's hard for me to believe that this is gonna keep the same kind of. Well, maybe it might keep the same energy, but like I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be way too over the top for me, and I'm not gonna enjoy it like I did the other ones. Oh, which by the way, I might have mentioned this on the podcast, but I can't remember. But I've mentioned it to you guys numerous times. How the movies have just become, or at least start like really with three. Like I guess it started with two, but with three, it was like, yo, look at these John Wick guns, go buy them, right? Like huge marketing for these Terran tactical firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking released Terran Tactical released this. It's not the Sandpiper. Oh, it's called the Pit Viper. It's a version of. I guess it's not. I think they divorced themselves, but he worked in part with this one gun manufacturer who manufactured like these new competition like guns called the 2011s. But since then, I think they broke off and they started doing their own thing, and they came out with this competition gun that's featured in John Wick 4, and it's ridiculous. It's a handgun. Take a guess how much this gun is worth.
I don't have a good frame of reference to make a guess
Yeah.
here.
That's all right. That's fine. The standard like 2011, right? Like sorry, a standard handgun, right? Like say you pick like I don't know, just anything. It runs about like $500-$600. For these 2011 Gucci'd up ones is
2K.
about like $2,000-$3,000.
Damn. That's what I
Yeah.
get. Is it like a? Would you say it's a collector's item or it's just overhyped?
I would say maybe both. Like I saw a couple of reviews on this Pit Viper, but that's not so $3,000 isn't the price though. Before I even get to that, it's a $7,000 gun.
Oh Jesus!
It's $7,000. Do I think it is worth $7,000? Absolutely not. I think in what you are saying, I think it is more of a collector's item, and it has to do majorly with the name than anything else. Because I looked at it, and realistically, you could take the same kind of base firearm and like get work done to it, and either have it look like it or make it run very similar. For probably half the price, or just under it maybe. But like it's fucking ridiculous. And I went on Terran Tactical's site. The thing is fucking sold out.
Of course it is. Come on.
$7,000. Like I just think it's crazy. And like you look at it, and I don't know, maybe some people out there will disagree with me saying that people won't use those things like in like or that people would use these kinds of weapons in those situations. But I mean, I know it's supposed to be a high faction like fantasy thing at this rate with John Wick 3, but I don't know. I feel like I just don't like. I guess it's also I just don't like marketing in my movies either.
That's
like,
fair.
Heavy marketing. Like for example, like I always groaned when any sort of Sony product would show up in fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because I want to get a Vio. Yeah, make sure that Vio takes up
Ugh.
2/3 of the whole fucking screen. Thanks.
Hey,
So,
you
I
got a
don't know.
Sony Ericsson cell phone on you?
Yeah, right. I love those close-ups on the Sony erection.
Eh.
I remember that's what we called it when those phones came out.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
you were more creative than my friend group.
Hey, I try. Got to be creative with those dick jokes, you know.
Yep.
But no, I still remain skeptical, and even though it may be a good movie, like 3 I thought was objectively a good movie, but it is definitely not what I was looking for, and something tells me that John Wick Chapter 4 isn't what I'm going to be looking for. But we'll see. I'm still going to look at it. I might end up watching it twice, who knows.
Nice.
Now, what is this? What is
This
this?
is
I don't know anything
depressing.
about it, but you guys
Alright,
seem more privy to it.
All right, yeah. So this one was interesting. So there was an interview with Yoshi P, the director of Final Fantasy 14 and 16, talking about how he doesn't like that his games are called JRPGs because he views that term as a slur. He says we just make RPGs, and I don't like that people feel the need to make a distinction. You don't call Western RPGs WRPGs. You just call them RPGs. And it brought up a lot of conversation in the community about whether JRPG is used as an insult or not. Because a lot of people who played during the Super Nintendo era don't think of it as the exact opposite. A JRPG was, hey, you're about to play this banger game that has a lot of like playtime tied to it. You're gonna have fun. These are all good. And it
That's
wasn't until like the Xbox 360 era, like I'll never forget like the name of the game, Infinite Undiscovery. This game
oh
was garbage.
god,
It was when Square's like,
dude.
we're committed to releasing games on 360 exclusively. And during that era, everything Square touched was garbage. We had
Yes.
Final Fantasy 13, we had the entire Fabula Nova Crystallis thing. That shit was awful. And I digged a little deeper into this, and I saw some discussions about people saying like, it used to be that when Final Fantasy came out, there was no doubt in your mind that this was going to be an amazing game, and it was a monumental occasion for the game industry for Final Fantasy to come out. But I remember when I jumped into the Final Fantasy franchise, like 12 was already out, 13 hadn't come out yet. It was around the time that I was playing Final Fantasy. And I remember grabbing Final Fantasy 12 Revenant Wings for Nintendo DS thinking, well, this is a Final Fantasy game, so it must be good. And I
Lol.
played that game and it was bad. And that was the moment where I'm like, this is what Yoshi P is talking about. This era is when people would say like, oh, it's a JRPG, and it had this negative connotation to it. So it may be that he's very owned into that era of time where it was a negative descriptor, but like I don't know that that's actually true. And I'm curious what you guys think about this discussion that's happening.
I mean,
For the
should
record,
go
I
ahead.
do reference RPGs as Western RPGs and JRPGs.
Yeah, I tend to differentiate between them.
Yeah.
Like they just feel different enough, but I can understand where he's coming from.
That being said, I was gonna say that being said, I get it because man, like that Xbox 360, PS3, and on, like there are some JRPGs that have this distinct flavor to it,
Yeah.
and it's not all positive. Like you said, Freeman, like PS1 and before, like maybe even PS2, right? Like a lot of PS2 games too. You see JRPG or like you could tell that it is, you're like, damn, this is more than likely a fucking banger or it's a sleeper,
Yeah.
right? Like without a doubt. Like I can name off like some fucking random ones like Xenosaga, right? Like that was pretty fun
First time I heard
for the
someone say
PS2.
Suidoken, I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this sounds like it's probably a masterpiece.
It's probably a
Suidoken.
fucking banger. Like fucking no one really talked about it until now, but like I mean Square's other game. Why am I blanking? Dragon Quest
Oh yeah.
were great games. Like I don't know, like you but then all of a sudden once you get to that era of PS3 where they were just cranking them out, like I don't know, maybe like it was just the level of quality just went down, and it really started with, I mean, I thought 12 was all right. Like it was questionable for a lot of people. I had fun with 12, but that's when people started to question it, and it's not when 13 came out. Everybody's like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I mean, I'll pull a very recent example because I was excited when I saw the trailer and then I played the demo for this game and I was just like, no, I'm not playing this. It's called Harvestella. It's this JRPG for Switch that Square Enix just put out, and like it looks like a JRPG. It controls like one. The dialogue is straight JRPG, but the problem is this is like 2010 JRPG. It's not good. I started playing and I was like, I don't want to remember this era of video gaming, and I think this might be what he's touching on. Like if someone told me it's a 2010s era JRPG, that shit sounds like an insult.
Mm.
Yes, 100%.
I don't know. It may just be that like when's like I would argue that like Persona 5 is the last great JRPG I played because even though I love 7 Remake, it barely feels like a JRPG. It's an action RPG. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Like
wouldn't he say that like that's the point? Like
yeah,
you
it's that we're
shouldn't be
putting these things into
differentiating
these
because
buckets.
now it's still being made by Japan.
It was, but like JRPG was a style. The only games of this variety were coming out of Japan, and the West never did this. So I understand if they want to say like if they want to use the phrase Final Fantasy 16 is not a JRPG, that's fine. You can go ahead and say that. Um, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge what it means to be a JRPG. Either you can market it as a good term, or you could say it's a term that describes old games that we don't use going forward. But like it can't be both.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be both.
Yeah. All right. That was all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. All right. That was the top part of the podcast where we're inquisitive, deep, we're thinking. Now it's time for the part of the podcast where I'm just angry all the time. So
Wow, we're back to that, huh?
where we
We're back to that.
left off on the Nintendo Direct, Pokemon Direct sagas. At the time of recording our last podcast episode, they had added Game Boy and Game Boy Advance to the Nintendo Switch Online retro game catalog, and notably every single Pokemon game was missing from this collection, which seems kind of weird because when you look at the top selling Game Boy games, guess how many of them were Pokemon games? But Pokemon Day was just around the corner, which I believe is supposed to be the Pokemon anniversary. And they're planning their own separate direct the following Monday. So I'm like, all right, what's the over-under that they include Pokemon in the Nintendo Switch Online, and they're just waiting to announce it on the anniversary date? That would be cool if they announced it. Naturally, they don't announce it. It's still not on Nintendo Switch Online, even though people have been mining the code and found that there's specific support for red and blue trading in Nintendo Switch Online now with the games nowhere in sight. So it's all very weird. It's just very weird why they don't want to do this. I'm honestly convinced they're going to release the games standalone that you have to buy on the eShop, and it's not just lumped into Nintendo Switch Online. But I don't know. This is all speculation. What Game Freak did come out and announce, though, is DLC for Scarlet and Violet is coming out and will release, and it will supposedly release before the performance patch, which now has no date associated to it.
Amazing.
Money printer go burr. So they showed off the new DLC. There's just a new area that, despite the fact that the game takes place in Spain, the new area is distinctly Japan. They showed off some new Pokemon designs.
Can't escape. JRPG can't get away.
I really don't like the new Pokemon designs. They're going with the see no, hear no, speak no evil motif again, and this time they're just making them look like literal cartoon characters. On top of that, we get new forms for older Pokemon. Suicune can now turn into a dinosaur. Use that information as you will. But the more important thing is I want to talk about Game Freak and their bad development practices here. Because despite all these announcements, actually, real quick, the last thing, Pokemon Sleep is back on the menu. That weird mini game they sort of announced in 2020, it's actually launching now. Anyway, Game Freak bad. So what happened is they put out a patch to prep everyone for the DLC that, I'll repeat, is not out yet. You can buy it. It costs $40 for this DLC for a $60 game. This DLC now costs more than the 3DS Pokemon games cost.
Wow.
And you can if you buy the DLC for both games, you can save a penny on the bundle. Just to remind you how much Game Freak wants your money. So they put out a patch to prep your game for the DLC that's not out yet. But one of the side effects of this is that it may delete your save data.
Oh my fucking.
Oh yeah, that.
And in order to combat people cloning their Pokemon off of cloud saves, cloud saving is disabled for the Pokemon games. So if you lose your save, that's it. Those Pokemon are gone. Game Freak has still not acknowledged the issue, and it has been over a week since this broke news. No patch has been issued to fix it. On top of that, and this is the part that blows my mind, is part of the patch was they added certain Pokemon as rewards for doing raids. But they had to patch in info about these Pokemon who were sort of already in the game but not obtainable. But they also did not lock you from participating in this raids if you hadn't updated your game. So you could be on the old version of Pokemon and play the raids live, but since you didn't have the data for the reward Pokemon, you couldn't get them. You would just get an egg that doesn't hatch. And they can't retroactively patch this.
Just to suffer.
And you can only get this reward once. If you participated in this stupid raid before updating your game, you can never get this Pokemon again. This is some absolute horseshit. Game Freak is so bad. This is just
it doesn't matter because they're still gonna make fuck tons of money.
Yes. Because the way to get around this glitch is by updating your shit and eating all the ads for the new DLC. And risk losing your save, all for the sake of catching this Pokemon that you could just lose forever. But anyway, Pokemon, right? Yeah.
I can't even care anymore about Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah. The last takeaway I want to talk about before we stop talking about Pokemon is I believe the Ash 9-episode special series is ending, so Ash is permanently not the protagonist of the franchise anymore. But they introduced these 3 new characters who are going to be the protagonists. They all have the new starters. But there's this guy who, I guess he's like a ship captain who brings them from location to location. And of course, this guy has a Pikachu and a Charizard.
Of course.
You just can't.
I was going to say I saw them in
the.
the image, and it's of course the Pikachu's going to never go in the ball and always be out and hanging around. And
Yep, always hanging out in the ship, Captain Pikachu.
see, that was you have to for sure they didn't give a shit about Ash. It was fuck. Pikachu makes more money than any creature on planet Earth. How do we keep making money off of Pikachu if Ash goes away?
The thing that kills me though is every gen they release a Pikachu clone as if they're gonna attempt to use this thing as a replacement for Pikachu, and then they just don't try. And then the one time, like when Sun and Moon came out, and Mimikyu was like the ghost Pokemon that's using like a doll that looks like Pikachu, it was more popular than they could have possibly imagined. To the point where it almost eclipsed Pikachu in popularity.
Yeah, you know why? Because the goth
kids
kids could have their own Pikachu now.
Yes, and I get it. It's straight up just this is how you market a Pikachu clone. And Game Freak was just like, oh shit, we didn't think we'd need to do this. And
when are we gonna find Fire Pikachu? Every generation's gonna hit a point where it's gonna have the new Elemental Pikachu instead of the just electric thing.
We almost
We
did.
don't come
but
up with new Pokemon. We just fucking throw types to the old Pokemon.
I mean, look, we have all the regional variants now.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't think
it's
they ever knew
Executor, but his
Pikachu
neck
game.
is really big. Woo!
I mean, that's the big thing they're going for now because they've crossed the 1,000 line on Pokemon, which they said they didn't want to do, and now they found
Whoops,
that
we made too much money. Got to keep going.
just regionals are way easier to design than new Pokemon. And I understand why they're doing it. I've stopped
Sure.
fighting that battle. Regionals are just the future of Pokemon.
Freeman, you know how you stop fighting that battle? You
By
stop
not
caring
playing
about Pokemon.
Look, there's
You can't lose the game if you don't play the game at all.
You're
Damn.
right. All right, so I'm going through a bit of a moral dilemma right now. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Nintendo eShop for not Switch for 3DS and I believe Wii U are shutting down at the end of this month. Part of this means that you will never be able to download Pokemon Bank again, but it is temporarily going free. I haven't logged in to check my collection, but I still constantly sit there and think, for a very brief period of time, I almost had a full living dex, and I could transfer them forward to Pokemon Home, but that requires me paying $5 a year. And I'm sitting on the fence here going like, do I actually care? At the same time, am I willing to throw away this thing that I used to care about and used to
Yeah.
work really hard towards? And I'm at this precipice where I don't know what decision to make. I don't really care about Pokemon, but I feel like it's hard for me to throw away that part of my life. I don't know. It's all just ones and zeros on a 3DS at this point.
I mean, I don't know.
All
I
right,
thought
so-
about it one day, something like of that nature, and I was like, why do I care so much? And I just stopped caring.
It's not that I care now, it's that I used to care, and I care that I used to care. And that's the problem.
No, I don't care that I used to care because I realize I'm an adult and I ain't got time for that shit. no more.
I like that mindset. Anyway, I don't care about Pokemon anymore. Let's talk about something else.
Fuck it. What is? Oh yeah.
Oh, Oscar season.
Oh god
Yeah.
damn it! Why did I?
you
this
put this
I
here?
think I just put it here just to be mad.
Everything,
Because I-
everywhere, all at once. Won more awards than Return of the King did. All Quiet on the Western Front, international movie, also won a bunch of awards. Is there anything else?
Yeah, fucking
Top Gun, best sound.
Brandon Fraser won Oscar for best fucking actor because
For a movie no one has watched, but Brendan
No one
Fraser
has
coming
watched-
back.
movie, no one, not a single.
I want to see it though.
That's horrible to say, but I feel like as soon as Brendan Fraser was in, every person was like, "Oh my God, it's Brendan Fraser! He's back in Hollywood. We can give him an award now."
Yeah, let's see. I don't know who else was in it. Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell, The Banshees of Inisherin. I remember seeing like a trailer for that, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this?"
Probably a movie for movie people.
Probably like most of these, like whatever. I don't know. Like The Whale looks like a movie for movie people too.
It's a movie for people to ask questions about weight problems.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. Like I read.
I don't
the
know. I was
synopsis.
listening to one of my movie podcasts I listened to today, the CinemaSins guys, and they're doing their year wrap up, and they're like, they have a guy on who's guest doing, and nothing wrong with it, but he's like, very much like, what is this movie asking about on like every single movie, and I'm just like, and then he's like, I didn't really like Top Gun, and I'm like, well, I mean, I thought Top Gun was awesome. It was my movie of the year. So
Honestly, I mean,
can I just enjoy Top Gun, please, and not have to think about this shit?
Objectively, in my not so biased opinion, I swear Top Gun was the best movie that came out last year.
You didn't give it that when we did our wrap up.
Was it new movie? Wait, what did I say?
I don't know.
Now I gotta look it up.
I was gonna say you gotta check the show notes, but I said Top Gun was my movie of the year.
Wait, no, now I gotta look because
Listeners, go listen to our best of and call Tyler out on his bad.
Yeah, call me out on my lies because I probably
pause
did.
now. Go listen to the whole thing and then come back when Tyler's gonna give you the answer in about 5 seconds when he finishes.
While you're there on that video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe there before you come back here and hit like and subscribe a second time.
Oh God, wait.
It should have been down there.
That had to have been. Oh, I think I might have said Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Which is also okay because that's a fantastic. Don't think that got nominated for anything, but whatever.
It didn't get nominated for shit, but I love that movie.
Look, Everything Everywhere All at Once was the rare movie that comes out and does something weird. There's a movie where people get forcibly dildoed. There's scenes like that in that movie, and that won almost everything. So the rare storm of this can't not win Oscars, especially with all the other awards places picking up Everything Everywhere All at Once for all their major awards.
Bro, I thought that shit was too overhyped though for what it is.
I'm excited that this won just because I'm hoping that a lot of people who aren't prepared to watch this movie and are just
how many people do the Oscar roundup and watch this because of all the Oscar stuff around it?
Oh no, I lied about all of them. It was Batman because I keep forgetting Batman, and I was like, oh, that's.
Oh yeah,
great.
Batman did come out last year. I still didn't see it.
I like Batman a lot.
We were supposed to be talking about the Oscars, but then again, who cares? So
we were talking about
everything. Then again, who cares?
Well, actually, more people cared. I did see on Reddit today that 12% increase in viewership from last year.
Why? There was nothing that came out.
Because Tyler,
nothing was good last year.
Tyler, Everything Everywhere All at Once appealed to millennials and Gen Zers. I'm not even kidding.
Listeners, there are better fucking Korean movies out there. Go fuck yourself.
Tyler,
it's not about seeing who wins the Oscar. It's about seeing, did this one particular movie I give a very big shit about win the Oscar?
Yes, and that had that appeal from the millennials and Gen Z, and so they all tuned in for the first time in years because they're like, Everything Everywhere All at Once was such a wild movie, man.
Oh yeah, such a wild movie, so great. You know what, listeners?
Look, what do you want? I gotta give you the answer.
I want to know answers. I want to know why this movie, because I feel like it was overhyped. That's all.
Look, at least Avatar didn't win anything.
I'm glad.
Avatar probably won special effects.
One visual effects, but that's it.
Also, I keep hearing that this Avatar was better than the first one, so that's something.
That man, I didn't remember really the first one that all, and I don't think this was as good as the first one.
All right, I'm just gonna. I wasn't gonna look at who won everything. Yeah, Brendan Fraser.
You don't have to go through everything.
I'm not gonna list anything off. I'm just looking if anything jumped out that I didn't.
There's only one movie I do want to see from these titles that I haven't seen yet.
All Quiet on the Western Front, because we're gonna watch it together, baby.
Yeah, that's the only one I really want to see.
I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but we had actively talked about that, and I've been thinking about how I want to see it together. Pinocchio won Best Animated. Pretty sure that's mostly because it's Guillermo del Toro. I thought, but because I know that some people really like that Marcel the Shell with shoes on movie.
Oh shit! I forgot about that movie. I still want to see it.
Yeah, that's a weird one. And then Sea Beast, I actually kind of want to try now that I heard that it's by the guy who directed Big Hero 6. Because I really love that movie. And I still should also see the Pinocchio movie, but that's not a surprise that Guillermo won when he has a movie in there. Like Freeman said, sound design went to Top Gun. Best visual effects, of course, it was Avatar. Cinematography also went to All Quiet. Another reason to go see it. Black Panther got its token win with best costume design.
Was that a joke, Tim?
Not really. I mean, it was up against Babylon, which no one I think knew about or liked. Miss Harris Goes to Paris. Don't know what that is. Elvis, which is
a joke. Did you get it?
Oh yeah, I know. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won everything else, so they could give Black Panther one win.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. That's yeah. It was everything over all at once. All Quiet on the Western Front. Those are the big winners.
See, listeners, don't. This is all. This is why the Oscars suck. This is why they suck, and this is why I don't care. I like looking at them, but like just to be like, what the fuck? But
Well,
like, I don't know.
We have a much more relevant to us awards show to talk about once we get into a later section.
It'll be just as salty.
But you know what doesn't suck? Magic the Gathering.
Debatable.
The
But
set
yes, let's
doesn't
proceed.
suck though.
So to jump in real quick. So after leaks of cards from after like the third story of Magic cards being found in a relevant Magic cards being found in a landfill somewhere. Someone found like $200,000 worth of Modern Horizons cards in a landfill, and then someone found 3 Lord of the Rings set cards in a landfill. Wizards
Magic cards and landfills. I don't know what this is.
Wizards today did their preview stream for their Lord of the Rings Modern Legal set, which is basically replacing Modern Horizons. They showed off a few cards, a few special treatments, and the craziest part of it is, I don't remember if we talked about it before, but starting with Brothers War, there were serialized cards, which had a number on the front, which is literally an X out of whatever 100 number of that card printed. So we're baseball cards now. As part of this set, Wizards is printing in some of the collector boosters. They have Soul Rings with alternate art and Elvish text, which are out of 100 equal to the number of cards that are rings in Lord of the Rings that were given to that race. So 3 rings were given to elves. So 300 elven Soul Rings are going to be printed and out in the world.
Oh my god, they went with the lore accurate number here.
And even beyond that, there is one singular alternate art 1 ring card.
Clarify.
Serialized 1 out of 1 in existence. This card is being printed in other forms. This is an alternate take on the same card. There is one Mordor language 1 ring card that will be out in a pack somewhere in the world.
I've already seen people speculating about the odds it ends up in a landfill.
Well, how many people are talking about what if some casual just buys a collector booster, opens it, and just leaves it in a drawer forever?
Yeah, that are people who stock up on this for just collector's value. This thing may realistically never actually get opened.
Imagine if Rudy just leaves it on his shelf forever. What a moron.
Look, I watch almost all the videos. I love Rudy. He's a fucking idiot, but I love Rudy. Every time he does a quick preview of his warehouse when he grabs a box for a box opening, I just sit here thinking, like, how does this man have $1 million in cardboard in his garage?
Look, we're not even talking about that. I just thought this is insane. The set doesn't look crazy at all, which is good. Some cool cards already spoiled. Apparently, there's going to be multiple cards of most of the main cast. They really couldn't get original, I guess, with their characters. Gandalf is going to have 3 cards. Sam has at least 2 cards. Sauron has at least 2 cards. Frodo's probably going to have at least 2 cards. Gollum only has an uncommon, so you know he's going to get another card.
I was very disappointed today when I learned the reality that they only have the rights to the book, not to anything about the movies. And the line "You shall not pass" is from the movies, not the books.
Oh yeah, so the
I was
card
so
name.
disappointed.
Yeah, so Tyler, they revealed the card today. You cannot pass.
Ah, gotcha.
I don't know. I just wanted to mention it because I thought that 1 of 1 singular in existence card.
Black. I think you showed me that one.
Yeah, Aragorn and Arwen's card was one of the ones that was pulled out of a landfill.
Damn.
So you know what the funny thing is though, and I'm pretty sure this was a thing that they did to it because of that. All 3 cards that were leaked were part of the spoiler today.
Damn.
You know for a fact Wizards was like, these cards already leaked. Let's just fucking get official images out there.
You gotta include them.
We're not gonna give these to people to preview them, so let's just do it ourselves and get them out of the way right away.
Listen, they can change whoever they want, but Aragorn has to be Viggo Mortensen, all right?
Yeah, I get that.
I'm gonna message Wizards and be like, yo,
You fucked
I'll
up.
give a shit about
How
your
many
shitty-ass
alters?
card game.
How many alter artists are gonna get requests? Redo this art with the character from the movie.
Yes, because he is. That's why.
No, but what was I gonna say? Interestingly enough, so there is a card for the One Ring. Like I said, it's actually pretty good in Commander. But they also didn't show off. There's a mechanic that involves being tempted by the ring, which doesn't seem to have anything to do with the card. There are multiple cards that reference getting tempted or being tempted a number of times.
I'm surprised the actual ring card itself doesn't tempt you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what so no one knows what this tempted by the ring mechanic looks like, other than like the Frodo card that was spoiled says if you've been tempted by the ring 4 times and you punch somebody with this Frodo, they lose. So that'll be interesting to find out. Again, Wizards doing the amazingly stupid thing of saying a few weeks ago, we know we're putting out too many products, we're going to slow it down. And then before, like, less than 2 weeks after the All Will Be One set comes out, they start previewing March of the Machines cards, and now we're previewing Lord of the Rings, and we haven't even released March of the Machines, which is coming out in like 2 months. And we haven't even released that shit, and we're already previewing the summer set after that. It's fucking Wizards need to chill.
Yeah, they just don't get it. The problem is they're so deathly afraid of profit decline.
Yeah, because they're propping up all of Hasbro.
Yeah, they're in a very precarious spot, and this is 100% Hasbro's fault.
Yep, fuck Hasbro.
They need to like figure out how to get Transformers to sell again.
Well, Freeman, do you know where most Transformers toys are made?
They're made in China.
Fuck.
Get wrecked, nerd. Get fucked.
Shit. I thought they were like all the best toys made in Japan. All the
Oh shit, this is the transition.
Yes! Oh my god, I thought you...
Sorry, I didn't realize it's time for the Weeb shit. I thought we were just gonna bitch about Hasbro.
No, I was talking about how all the best mechanical toys are made in Japan.
Oh, it should have been where the best mecha toys made, because then I would have.
Well, that's never mind.
Sorry, Transformers is wildly popular in China, so I completely missed where we were going with this. Anyway,
I was trying.
Anyway, it's time for the Weeb shit. It is the current year, and the Demon Slayer movie is winning at the box office. What year am I talking about? I'll take any guess.
Any year a Demon Slayer movie came out for 100.
Every year, chief export of Japan. Demon Slayer movie 10 million U.S. box office.
That being the tagline you now say every single time, Freeman, is the funniest fucking thing. Chief export of Japan.
I hate it. It's hilarious and sad at the same time, but people just fucking love Demon Slayer.
All right, we're gonna have to change the order. Keep talking. We're changing the order around because we have to talk about this next.
Yeah, no problem. We can shift it. But anyway, yeah, Demon Slayer movie's out. For anyone who doesn't know what it is, it's literally like it's not the theatrical cut of the last 2 episodes of the last season. It's the last 2 episodes of the last season plus the new episode of the current or of the upcoming season that's going to be airing, I think, in April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so less than a month from now, we'll have those episodes. We'll have the episode.
I was looking for other news to talk about. I didn't see if this got announced anywhere. Man with the Mission is doing the Demon Slayer opening, and they also have what's her name, Millet, the singer from the second Vinland Saga ending, are doing the Demon Slayer opening together. But I don't.
What the fuck is season that's slapping right now? I know we're not talking about that right now, but Jesus Christ!
Wait, what?
Vinland Saga.
Good lord.
Oh, yeah. Tyler, I was No, I messaged you. It was messaging the podcast chat after we watched episode 10 yesterday. I said podcast topic. Vinland Saga literally can't miss.
It can't miss.
All right, hold on. We'll do it at the top. We'll do it at the top of Watched and Played. We'll talk about Vinland because this shit's good.
That breaks the rule. We're not even supposed to talk about it until it's done.
Dude. We talked about we talked about Game of Thrones as was airing. We've talked about shit.
Yeah, I know. We're all really okay.
It's our podcast. We make the rules.
So Demon Slayer made a fuck ton of money. Val and I were going to see this, and then we got busy, and then I started reading the reviews that were like, they didn't edit out credits breaks from the 2 episodes of Entertainment District that were wrapped in at the beginning of this movie, and I was like, okay, that's too lazy even for us to go see in theaters. That's actual just how can we buff out runtime from our 1 hour episode to make money? That can't. Yeah. If this okay, so to break into our next topic, the Crunchyroll Awards. If this movie, Freeman, there is a world where this Demon Slayer movie is nominated for Best Movie next year.
I'm gonna fucking rage.
If this wins Best Movie at the next Crunchyroll Award, just
This is
because of Demon Slayer.
This is like a half recap movie winning. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's not even Freeman. It'll be all recap by the time we get the rest of the. By the time the episode comes out, it'll be a full recap movie. It will have no unique content.
I don't know if I'd go down that route. Then you can argue that Mugen Train is a recap movie.
Sure, but at least, that's fair. But at least it was. But even then, it was edited differently when they released it in the show.
Yeah.
Either way, I just said that for dramatic effect. But spoiler alert: Crunchyroll was called. If you're not Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, or Spy Family, you can't win. That's the awards. Literally, out of 22 categories, 8 unique shows won. Except, I think, literally all 5 other shows than the 3 I just named only won a single category.
Damn.
Which makes it even more astounding that Anime of the Year for Crunchyroll was Cyberpunk.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
this
wild.
is wild.
Yeah, Cyberpunk won that. Jujutsu won movie. Kaguya won romance, of course. And actually, that's it. Every other there were other categories. Sorry. Lycoris Recoil won Best Original Anime. One Piece won Best Continuing. And that's it. Every other single category, other than VAs in specific languages, was, no joke, was Spy Family, Attack on Titan, or Demon Slayer.
This is horseshit. The biggest takeaway, the fact that Demon Slayer won Best Fantasy.
Yes. And Best Action. Like, it's not like fantasy was the only genre specific category.
But it's got people asking the question, is Demon Slayer a fantasy show?
No. Now, here's the thing though. If you call your category Best Fantasy, it's not. I would almost say it's more like historical fiction, which I know fantasy tends to be, but Demon Slayer is so steeped in being Japan.
Yeah, it's like if you just take Japanese history and swap out the samurai for a different type of sword fighter. Like, it's almost not different enough for me to want to call it a fantasy. You could even say, like, this shit happened in Japan, but they don't want people talking about it. And you could have passed this off as fake history. Now,
we did talk about this. I don't want to linger too long because we're already over an hour and we haven't barely started the Weeb shit. Oh, fuck, I just lost my train of thought by jumping off like that. Oh, yeah, so, again, as a reminder, Crunchyroll did not include fall shows like Bleach, like, what else?
Chainsaw Man
was not My Hero, Chainsaw Man. So a lot of hype shit was not even included as an option in Crunchyroll's awards. That being said, I attached an image to the show notes. I don't know if you guys got to look at it. So someone very helpfully on our anime compared the r/anime awards, which is just from Reddit voting, which has a jury and a public vote, which sometimes were split, the Crunchyroll awards and the 9th Anime Trending Awards. I don't know where that data comes from. Freeman, do you know?
Anime Trending is a separate website where it's just like people vote on stuff every week.
So the comparison is incredibly helpful because it shows that out of all of them, Crunchyroll has the lamest takes possible. So many things that went to Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan, or even in a bunch of places, Spy Family, went to a much bigger variety of shows. Action, Chainsaw won both other instead of Demon Slayer. Fantasy/adventure. The only win for Mushoku Tensei was in r/anime.
Yeah, the community picking it.
The community picked it. The judges picked Dragon Quest. But then Anime Trending with the best take of Made in Abyss Season 2 winning Best Adventure or Fantasy. Somehow Kaguya won Best Comedy, which I don't think Season 3 is a comedy on the Trending Awards. Suffice to say, the takes on the other two are much better. Things like Mob Psycho winning an award, Lycoris Recoil winning a couple, Bocchi the Rock winning a bunch, Ranking of Kings winning one, your boy Conming winning Best Opening. Summertime
Deserved.
Render even getting voice acting.
And then the funniest part is all three voting for Kaguya's best romance.
Oh yeah, that's the only consensus was best romance is Kaguya, which is amazing. And then anime of the year. r/anime's jury said Yama no Susume season 4, which I don't know what that is.
Wait, really? Encouragement of climb. It's about this, like, it's cute girls doing climbing.
They picked anime of the year, but
That was a weird pick.
The public vote for that and the anime trending was Bocchi, which is kind of astounding, actually. I don't know if I'd call it anime of the year, but I guess if you had surprise anime of the year, I would certainly pick Bocchi.
I mean, I gave it a 10. Like, it has to be in contention. I think, and I don't want to insult everyone here, but I think it's just Crunchyroll has too many normies.
That's not an insult. That's truth.
Like, I think that's just the results are just here.
Freeman, to steal from all the AI president videos I've been watching, keep cooking.
Damn. You love those too much. I hate seeing them.
I've mostly fallen off, actually.
Yeah, a lot of them
they've gotten a lot lamer. Everyone's following the same formula, but they were really funny while they lasted for the last week. Also, shout out to Ascendance of a Bookworm getting r/anime's public vote for drama, which kind of doesn't make sense, but okay.
I thought the season was a decent drama.
Yeah, but that's one I'd actually give to Attack on Titan. Like, Attack on Titan is a great drama.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't have to linger on this. I just thought it was interesting how much pure normie was shown off at Crunchyroll. Like, Gigook had some reaction stream and then a video, which we didn't get to watch yet, but, like, you know that everybody's kind of... all the comments on Reddit were like, Jesus, this is literally those 3 shows and nothing else.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of his stream, and basically he watched with Dietis, who's a weeb, and one other guy who's not a weeb. And the guy who's not a weeb was just like, I'm rooting for Demon Slayer for every category. And like, more than half of them, they'd win. And he's just like, yes. And everyone else around him is just pissed.
But you know what will win Anime of the Year next year?
Oh, God.
Eminence in Shadow!
Hold on. So for context on this, the last time we recorded, I think they had announced there was going to be an announcement a day or two.
Yep,
after
it was literally
podcast.
2 days after they were going to have an announcement.
I was like, either it's season 2 or it's a gacha game, and you're like, there's already a gacha game. So
yep,
at that point, it was already confirmed.
So they confirmed season 2 is coming of Eminence in Shadow. I think it's fall this year. Like, or no. You know what? There was no date. I literally even wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I recorded it. Waiting on date. So we don't know when it's coming. Probably as much as a year away. But
I think they confirmed that the whole production staff is returning though, which is a good sign.
So good. Man, talk about underdog of the year. I can't wait for more Eminence. If I'm not going to get Overlord all the time forever, then fuck it. I'll take Eminence in Shadow to catch up. What?
I said substitute Overlord will suffice.
Yeah, this fits into that category of show that I just love and is unabashed love for this. Me and Aiden still need to finish what's out of Misfit, which who knows when that'll come back.
You guys are supposed to watch it Sunday. What happened?
I messaged him and then I completely got busy with Leslie coming over early and everything going on and cleaning the house and stuff. Yeah, well. So yeah, I can't. So excited for Eminence. This show is so dumb, so fun. Can't wait for season 2. But you know it's coming next season very soon.
Yeah, we got a bunch of trailers with a lot of cool stuff. So I'm just going to
talk about many fucking trailers in the last week.
First and foremost, we got Tony Kawa having his trailer. It is coming out April 9th, I think. And the trailer confirmed 2 things. One, the band, which is the combination of the voice like Nezuko's voice actress, and then this one DJ. Their musical duo is doing the Tony Kawa opening again. It sounds a little different, but they're trying to go for that same kind of energy from opening 1. We'll see how it hits.
Freeman, I wanted to ask, what did you think of it? Because the bit they played, I thought was different, but kind of slapped pretty good.
It's not bad. It's one of those things where it's going to grow on us, and the question is, will we like it more than
we also need to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
We heard 30 seconds tops?
Yeah, it was just basically like a little bit of the chorus.
Yeah.
And then the big confirmation is, I've been noticing this a lot in romance anime, is that season 1 you kind of just exhaust your plot premise, and when you go into season 2 it's like, well, what do we do? And the easy answer is just introduce new supporting characters.
Oh my god, I said literally to Val, not thinking of that, I said, wow, there's a lot of new characters in this trailer.
Yeah, season 2 shows off a lot of the characters and all the voice actors for them. I can't read Japanese, so I don't know who the voices are for them. But
as soon as you hear them, you'll know.
As soon as I hear them, I'll know within 30 seconds who these people are. But that's coming real soon. We got the Dr. Stone trailer showing off the plot line of why the fuck they're sailing and why they're trying to be One Piece for a little bit. We got the Split Core announcement. We got our first look at what oh my god, his name is not Deku. His name is Senku. Senku's dad's new voice actor, because the previous one had passed away. We got our first little glimpse of what he sounds like. He's not
Didn't
bad.
watch
He's
that one.
obviously-
Didn't know that.
He's obviously not as like I think it's like the opening line is him. Obviously, it's not as iconic as the original voice actor, but he's not bad. But that is coming out next season. Very excited for that one. To Your Eternity, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk about the show in general. But the third season was confirmed immediately after the second season finished. For context into why, because a lot of people are just flipping about like, why is this mid-anime that no one's hyped about getting a third season? NHK, the broadcasting network, is on the production committee. And for shows that they sponsor, generally speaking, those shows get 3 seasons, period. As long as it's not bombing, as long as it's not like detrimental to their brand, their shit gets 3 seasons. I'm pretty sure that's why Haikyuu didn't get a 4th season, because I think NHK was on the production committee for that. But point is, To Your Eternity 3rd season confirmed. The promotional arc has Fushi holding a cup of what looks like bubble tea, which has everyone concerned about how much we're going to time jump into the future, or if it's just a marketing ploy. Either way, I have 5 episodes left on To Your Eternity Season 2. I will not spoil it. We've already spoken kind of at large, and Tyler, I know you're already way past this point in the show, but To Your Eternity Season 2 decides to play around with the idea of like, Fushi's an immortal and he's going to outlive people. He's going to be here for a long time. So let's have the plot kind of stretch out over a longer time period. And the first 2 episodes are very fast with how much it jumps around. And at the point I'm at, I've seen enough of the preview tiles on Crunchyroll to know for a fact that there is not another time skip. The rest of season 2 takes place kind of just in a very this set time period with this group of characters going over this plot. So for anyone who's turned off by the first 2 episodes of To Your Eternity, do not be concerned about the remainder of the season. I'm gonna give my verdict now, still with 5 episodes left of the season. To Your Eternity starts off really, really strong and ends really, really weak. And To Your Eternity 2 kind of fits in the middle of those two. Its highs don't hit as high and its lows never go as low. It's kind of in between the previous arcs. And I would argue, especially just because of how much we've been going off about how much we are getting tired of anime that takes place in high school in Japan in modern day. To Your Eternity is telling a good story, a unique story in a different place that hasn't really been done before. And it may not be like a top quality anime, but this is a good story and it's still interesting. So I'm going to give To Your Eternity 2 give it a try. I'm not going to sit here and sing its praises. It still has a lot of issues. The last episode I watched, the episode was phenomenal, except they had a bit where like a character's unconscious and then they wanted to catch the character up on what they missed while they were unconscious, and they like did this pseudo flashback. God, they did it terribly. I wish they would have like spent more effort on that, even though it wasn't the point of the episode. So there's little bits and pieces where I'm not happy about the adaptation, but overall it's a very interesting show. So it's got me hooked in that regard. So that's my verdict on To Your Eternity 2.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I need to finish that now that I'm caught up now on My Hero.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get through it.
Whoa,
like,
you're
the
caught
season's
up, Tyler?
winding down.
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Like as of last week's episode?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
shit!
so far behind. I just want to be caught up on this.
Whoa,
This
you
season is
really
so
blew
good.
through it.
Yeah, I did.
That
What
means
happens when
So you're caught up on the Dark Deku arc.
that's what happens when you say, "Man, fuck your job." Just kidding. I still outperform most of my coworkers, but I decided to slow down.
I decided that hey, it's time for Tyler's Isekai. I decided to be normal at my job so I could focus on watching TV.
Yeah.
Quietly
What was it?
quitting in another world.
Literally, I've been setting time aside. Like, I'll look at my numbers and be like, okay, I'm ahead of everyone. I'm gonna stop working, or at least like I'll respond to emails. Like, if someone like messages me on Teams, like I'll do that. Like, if someone needs me, like I won't stop doing that. But like, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna take
An
time
hour.
and like, yeah, dude, I've been like watching anime and what else? I've also been like studying up on like cybersecurity stuff.
Hell yeah.
But like, yeah, I've just been like, I'm just gonna try to take more time out for me, and that's just been including catching up. So.
Well, I want to ask about how you think of My Hero, but we only have 2 weeks left until the season's over. So I think we'll just wait because then maybe Freeman might catch up in time, so then we can all just talk about it on the season-ending podcast.
I doubt this Friday would have been the day that I'd get my gang together to watch, but obviously I'm not going to be there because we got stuff going on Friday. So I don't know when I'm going to watch this.
Well, if
fuck
yeah,
it and just watch without him.
yep, there you go. It's pretty
I haven't
good.
told
So
him. So I haven't told him this yet, but
Uh-oh.
I've memed about the show. But is it wrong to pick girls in a dungeon? Like I legitimately enjoy season 1. I think season 2 is bad, and I hate season 3, even though everyone else really likes it. Season 4 is apparently like the season. It bounced back and it's good again.
Oh my god.
And I don't know when I'd get that group together to watch it, so I'm thinking about just silently watching season 4 and not telling.
There you go.
But we'll see.
Don't tether yourself to anybody, Freeman. Just watch anime.
Be the Weeb I was meant to be.
Be Freeman. Fly high and look over that wall and watch whatever anime.
Anyway, speaking of not tethering myself to other weaves and watching shit on my own, the Gundam Witch from Mercury trailer came out. And at first I was very concerned because the first minute of the trailer doesn't have any new footage. And then bam, the new opening starts to play and it's all new footage. So the new opening sounds very good.
I will wait for it actually to be out to try to test that theory.
Yeah, probably a good call. If you're concerned about spoilers, avoid the trailer. They sort of semi-confirm the fate of certain characters who you think may or may not have died in the last episode. I don't like when trailers do this. But whatever. Gundam. Buy plastic.
Buy plastic.
That's coming out next season as well. Big announcement. When I saw this, I was like screaming, crying, tears of joy. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Boruto is ending. I was so happy. And then I was so upset to read the news that it's not actually ending. So for anyone who watched original Naruto is 220 episodes, but the canon material ends at like episode 117. Naruto needed to like wait for more material because they're like, we can't keep jumping back and forth to filler. Let's just do 2 continuous years of filler to pad for time. And they did that, and then Shippuden came out, and they made it maybe a year before they're like, fuck, we have to go back to alternating filler arcs because we blitzed through the material again. With Boruto, they had the bigger issue that Boruto is a monthly manga release, and they still want to do a weekly anime. So for the entirety of I watched the first 100 episodes of Boruto thinking it would eventually get good, and I was wrong. Boruto would do 20 to 30 episodes of pure filler, then have a 5-episode arc that's canon, and then do 20 to 30 episodes of filler. It was fucking terrible. And they finally reached that point where Boruto isn't pulling in the viewership it used to, and the airing filler for the sake of having it on TV is actually not working anymore.
Good.
So they're ending Boruto Part 1 with the intention, I think, pause a bit so that they have literally any canon material to attempt to adapt, and they're going to come back with a Boruto Part 2, which has already been greenlit. And the fact that it's greenlit, all it says is that maybe they're considering moving Boruto away from the weekly model to the seasonal model, to which I say, it's too late, the damage has been done. No one gives a shit about Boruto, and you killed the franchise. That's just what it is. I don't care about this anymore. Every time it comes back for a cool new fight scene, I just don't care. Like, arguably the biggest fight of the franchise happened fairly recently in Boruto, and I still refuse to watch it because this shit is just so bad.
Damn.
It's almost like Bleach taking 10 years off was the galaxy brain move all along.
Actually. Just like waiting until you know exactly what you're going to adapt and then adapting it fucking correctly is the king strategy.
No way. It's almost like the manga writer who wrote the fucking manga knows what they're doing.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as saying Tite Kubo knows what he's doing with Bleach, but you're on the right track here.
Hey man, he draws that really good, those really good drip.
Yeah, he knows drip. Anyway, one more bit of rage baiting before we talk about the new anime announcements. It finally happened. Uncle from Another World episode 13 finally aired in Japan. They did the whole shebang. They updated the key visual everywhere. They broadcast all these announcements, and Netflix is still radio silent about releasing anything past episode 7 outside of Japan.
Fucking God.
Why are we here?
Just to suffer.
Just to suffer. This is absurd. I just want to watch the end of the show.
Literally, we would finish it in like 2 days if we just fucking came out.
Enough time has passed that I'm pretty sure there's decent fan subs out there. I might have to just look into downloading them.
Freeman, please. That'll be our next show if you can find them for Thursday. We'll finish fucking Uncle.
I'll see what I can do after work on Thursday. If I can find a couple of them. All right. Now for the big stuff.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Okay,
What?
Freeman, something's going on. If you click on Uncle from Another World on Netflix, it says there are 13 episodes, but there are only 7 actually available. So maybe they actually have all 13. They're just not releasing them for...
It might be a visual glitch because they released all 13 in Japan. They just haven't released all 13 outside of Japan.
All I can tell you is that I'm looking at it on Netflix right now, and it says 13.
episodes. Yeah, what the hell is this?
It's a good fucking question. Shitty, that's what it is.
This could have been anime of the year if it finished airing.
It could have been comedy of this fucking year if it actually came out. If it all came out this year. Anyway.
All right, moving on. I got to talk about some of the absolute bullshit anime that's been announced and or revealed this last week.
God,
one of these was announced previously. We got trailers for it. So first and foremost, this is the one I am excited for. For anyone who doesn't know, I am a huge fan of glasses, both in anime and out. If you've ever read that copy pasta about how glasses are versatile, you could argue that I may have written that. I didn't, but I might have wrote it. But there's a new romance coming out called The Girl I Liked Forgot Her Glasses. And the whole gimmick of it is quite literally the girl this kid likes forgets her glasses, and because she can't see, she's squinting. She keeps getting close to people and just like gives up the concept of like what's the term I'm looking for here? Just like personal space. And that just seems like the starting gimmick of the show. But the promotional artwork looks very, very nice for it. So I'm going to watch this show because it seems very wholesome. Unlike the second show that got announced, which is called The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really, Really Love You. I don't know what the gimmick of this is, but apparently the dude has a harem of quite literally 100 girls. And the biggest joke is that this is going to be the single most stressful show in the anime industry if they attempt to cast all 100 female characters for this. That they're just going to have to tap into every rookie VA for this because there's no way they're going to pay the veteran voice actors, all 100 of them, to be in this show.
That's fucking hilarious.
Like, they were complaining that Bleach was ruining the anime recording industry because so many big name voice actors.
Where did all the women go?
And it's like, this is it. Every female Seiyu is going to be on this stupid ass project.
See, but the thing is, they're not going to, like, Bleach, they, like, needed to do shit. Like, this is just going to be like, hi, I'm this, and then done.
Yeah, for a 12-episode show, I don't know how many lines you'd realistically have 100 characters show up for, or whether this is going to be like there was another show called The World God Only Knows, and this is a terrible fucking title for this anime. The plot is this dude loves playing visual novels, and he's just so good at them. Everyone online calls him the god of visual novels because he beats them all. And then like an actual god comes down from heaven and says like, hey, we're dealing with an issue of these like girls who are like, they're just becoming cold and bitter. Like, we need someone to romance them. So we're gonna tap into you, the dude who's good at visual novels, to just figure out how to romance these girls. And the gimmick is every arc he romances another girl, but he's like not actually interested in them. He's just doing this because like the gods are forcing him to. And that show had the problem that they just introduced too many girls, but they wanted to give them all screen time. So I don't know how a show with 100 girls is going to do the same idea.
Freeman, let's just get to the big one.
All right, the big one. This one's important because I didn't realize there was a trailer for it, and I watched it. And Dark Flame Master is going to voice the main character for this. But he's going to use for anyone who watched Assassination Classroom, he's using the Koro Sensei voice. But the show is called Reborn in Another World as a Vending Machine. Now I Troll the Dungeon.
Troll my existence.
I wanted to disconnect so fucking bad.
This is I will read
Elon,
it.
unplug me.
This is a comedy. You are not meant to take the show seriously. If you watch the trailer, the way the guy gets isekai'd is he's biking behind this truck that's holding a vending machine, and the vending machine comes loose and crushes him, and he wakes up in a dungeon in another world as the vending machine, fully sentient. And it seems like the gimmick is this one adventurer elf girl finds him, doesn't understand the novelty of this, and just starts bringing him along with her. So he's just kind of a silent observer to an otherwise comedic isekai plotline. Depending on how they pull it off, this could be an actually funny show. But I'm not gonna like pretend this is good. This is garbage.
This sounds like because I know that you are not the first person to have said this, and you said it off camera, but that the sword and that the reincarnated as a sword was actually pretty good.
I will acknowledge that it was way better than the premise sounded. I dropped it because I was just like, I don't give a shit about this weird ass isekai plotline. Like, for like full disclosure, reincarnated sword, like he's wielded by this girl, and the girl is very clearly the main character of the plot of this show, and he's just here to provide goofy commentary and be a fun OP weapon. So I think they made that format of I am reincarnated as a plot device can work if you just have the rest of the show has its own good structure to it. Like how do I put it? There was one show that everyone was praising a couple seasons ago or a couple years ago, Princess Connect Redive. I know Mother's Basement loved this show. That plot, because it was adapting a mobile game, the whole idea was that the main character like has amnesia and straight up literally does not have a personality. He does not talk. He can barely feed himself. And the girls of the show are the main cast. The main character almost doesn't matter. And we're starting to reach this era of isekai where it's the main character doesn't matter. He's just there to get you introduced to the core concept in episode 1 because you already know how an isekai works, and then the rest is just straight up fantasy. And I don't like that. You're completely giving up the benefit of what makes an isekai a cool concept just for the sake of I need an easy introduction to a fantasy world. So the fact that the vending machine is going to play this up for laughs, I think will end up being a positive. The problem is it too stupid to be a decent show? And that's the real question. That's it. I'm done ranting for the Weeb shit. We can go talk about real shows now.
Real shows. Debatable.
Well, look at the list. Tell me the first one's not a real show.
So we're already pretty far in, so we really need to hurry through these because boy, is it already after 10.
All right.
But so Tyler, we brought it up, but I started this by sending this message yesterday after Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 10. Vinland Saga does not miss. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. This is a 24 episode, so it's going to be like months. Yeah, let's talk about it now.
This is amazing.
Yeah, Vinland Saga is...
This is the worst shonen action anime I've ever watched.
This is the worst shonen action anime. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, every episode of this just, like, man, who knew all the haters who said farming is boring were so impossibly wrong. Clearly never saw Thorfinn hanging above a pit of people fighting in blood talking to Askeladd again. I don't care if that's spoilers.
I'll play devil's advocate and say that maybe for a lot of these smooth brains, like the actual farming part of it might be the boring bit, but it's like this season isn't about farming. Like it's not. If you're mad that they're farming, like you may have brain damage. Like this
brain damage.
This season is about freedom. Is the plot of this
Man,
season.
there's a lot of freedom in our anime lately.
I was really resisting the urge to laugh. Like, listeners, spoilers for episode 10. Like, Thorfinn may be freed as a slave, and he's sitting there and he's like, what does freedom truly mean? And I'm just like, this is a certified Eren Yeager moment.
I was gonna say something different. I was gonna say he's got fucking because you watched the most recent Vinland Saga, right?
Yeah, thankfully I watched it a few minutes before Tim messaged us.
Thank fucking God.
I was gonna say
well, I didn't spoil anything. I just said it doesn't miss.
I know, but I don't want my expectations tempered before I watch the episode.
No, fuck it. It doesn't miss.
Big Emiya energy.
Yes. Oh
this
my God.
motherfucker was like, I don't want war. I don't want anyone to do violence or war ever again. I'm like, did this motherfucker say what I just thought he said?
This Fate spinoff is phenomenal.
This Fate spinoff.
And before he becomes back as a fucking like champion.
Heroic spirit.
Freeman, imagine a world.
Thorfinn is a historical figure. Thorfinn could reasonably be a character in Fate Grand Order.
Freeman, what if the West makes Vinland Saga so popular that eventually Japan has to acknowledge that people like Vinland Saga and they actually bring him back in a future Fate?
So hold on, you're memeing about this, but the newest Fate spinoff that has not yet released yet is it's Norse. All the characters are like Norse characters. So like we're memeing here, but like Thorfinn could realistically show up in the books as one of the characters.
Oh, thank God.
Dude. That'd be kind of a plot device. Like say like I don't know, they went off of the Vinland Saga route where I don't know the rest of Vinland Saga, but like say he becomes like a pacifist for the rest of the story, and that's how he's remembered. As a warrior who was a pacifist, right?
All I know is Askeladd has now said the same thing as Tor's. Become a true warrior. What does that mean? I don't fucking know. Who cares? They both want him to do it.
I know exactly what it means.
What?
Exactly what it means.
What?
Fight for himself.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say someone who doesn't have to fight anymore.
with something like that,
A
probably.
warrior of words.
I mean, there's like some themes about that, because like there's the whole
I
thing
know.
about his dad saying like, who is your enemy? Like, tell me, like, who
Yo,
are
the killer thing I'm stealing from Reddit was the point out that Torfin says, or brings up the idea of basically no one having enemies anymore. And the other character in episode 10 goes, all I have is subjects and enemies.
Yup.
It's
Yup.
like, oh, God.
Oh, it's great. It doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Oh, also, remember in the intro where that cheek scar opens up?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know how that's horrible?
Yeah.
You want to make that even more horrible? It was pointed out on Reddit that is not a mouth opening, that's the eyeball from the cut off head that he's now interacting with opening up.
Ew.
Yeah, it's even worse, isn't it?
Oh god, now I gotta rewatch.
Yeah, the opening is a banger. The ending is good. Vinland Saga literally can't miss. Still looks gorgeous. Every moment is so every episode is legitimately 2 minutes long. It's mind-boggling how much these episodes fly by when we're watching them.
I was trying to piece together why I like this so much, and I'm starting to realize, especially after I think it was last episode where Thorfinn has his flashback and he sees his dad, or not his flashback, his dream, and he sees his dad.
Yep.
There's a lot of comparisons you could draw between Vinland Saga and The Lion King, which is like my favorite Disney movie of all time. I'm seeing a lot of Mufasa in Thor's lately.
I guess if you split up the role of Mufasa between Tors and Askeladd a little bit, because Tors really hasn't done much.
You don't see Askeladd as Scar?
But he's not. But he has an actual good influence on him to an extent.
Yeah.
Like Askeladd in this. Okay, when we saw Askeladd, which was insane, by the way, to hear. I never thought we'd hear new dialogue from him in literally all time.
I'm glad he was in that dream.
He had more dialogue there than Tors did in all of season fucking 1, like almost. Like Tors did so little. Like he leaves a big impact, but he says so little past that even in that arc he's in. He's just the stoic, I am the good father who used to fight and no longer fights.
So fun little tidbit of info on Thor's, just because they restructured how Vinland Saga was done for the anime. Like in the manga, it opens with Thorfinn already in Askeladd's group, and his backstory is given us flashbacks later. And they made the exact decision to be like, nah, tell it in chronological order.
Way better this way.
So like the way we're getting it now, where we get little bits back to Thor's and hearing him talk, that's how the manga.
That's how it was the whole time.
So it's interesting to see us jump to that and compare and contrast.
I guess that makes more sense because when he was awake but saw his dad on the hill walking away, that makes a lot more sense if he's been having moments like that. Whereas that kind of came out of nowhere, like, oh, Tors is here. Like we haven't thought about Tors in 2 years.
Yeah.
But either way, this is such minor discussion. Vinland Saga just is hitting so every note is hitting perfectly.
Yeah, this is the if you don't want a high school anime, this is the show you should be watching. Right
Freeman,
now.
what was the joke you brought up about how Mappa takes over all these things from Wit and then makes them about freedom?
Yeah, I would say like this is the second time this week a protagonist from a show that went from Wit to Mappa has been talking about freedom. I don't know if I like this pattern here.
I mean, I like this. This is fine.
You know what else is fine?
Nothing. Just
Freeman.
kidding. I don't know this one.
It's your boy Kongming.
Freeman did it. We literally, Val and I were like, we finished watching it, and then me, Freeman, and Val finished Bochi, and then we were like, Freeman, if you want to watch it, we'll immediately rewatch Kongming. And we did.
Listeners, for context, this show has the dumbest concept, but somehow it works. Famed Chinese tactician Kongming gets reincarnated in modern-day Japan, and he's just like, I will use my military tactics to take this girl who's a really good singer and just make her the best singer in the world. And like I was telling Tim, it's the early show works a lot like the way Food Wars does in terms of its like setting up a conflict, where it's just about like how do we reveal this twist and how does it tie into like the mythology of the three kingdoms and all the shit that he did in mythology. It's a wholesome music anime. I'll put it that way. Very good. I'm listening to the opening and ending kind of on loop this week. It was kind of held back by the fact that it's High Dive exclusive, and I think, for High Dive's sake, it's good they did that. This is a really good show to have as an exclusive. But it sucks. It didn't get the exposure that it really deserved. This was a very good anime.
Ty, you might enjoy it, honestly.
I never heard of it.
We watched episode 1.
Watch episode 1 with us.
Was that?
Chan con cheeky bun bun.
Oh, that's right.
Cheeky, bun,
I'll be
bun.
honest. I wasn't paying attention. I was on Instagram the entire time.
Cool.
Understandable.
Well, never mind. Tyler's opinion doesn't matter for this show, so.
It really doesn't right now.
Yeah. I'm going to shuffle the order slightly. Just I want to talk about the last anime on the list before we move on.
Yes,
to
please. No, this is
no, important.
Let's finish anime.
Yeah, the I think it was the Sunday after our last recording. Attack on Titan final
rumbling.
season, final part 1.
Rumbling. It came rumbling.
This, I watched it on Saturday, then I watched it again with you guys on Sunday, and it was just as good on the rewatch because I could focus on a couple more details. But holy shit, this went hard, and I'm just absolutely pissed it couldn't air as a 2-hour special to be the true finale.
We can't just end it. We have to be drip fed this shit.
Gotta drag it out to October.
Freeman, that Reddit karma from every one of these episodes getting up really matters to Map.
This is horseshit. Like this is the worst way to present this finale.
And yet it doesn't matter. We're all still glued to it.
No,
Freeman, I would say the meme of they can't keep getting away with it, but they're only going to get away with it one more time, and then we're all going to be... It doesn't matter. As soon as the last part comes out, none of this shit matters.
I know.
It just goes down in history as an absolute 10 out of 10 slam dunk.
I know. But having watched it twice now, the actual spot they had to end this, it infuriates me. It's not a good ending point. It very clearly is good. Like the next scene is not going to cut away. It's good. They're going to open with this exact scene because it was meant to be a continuous thing, and they had to chop it in half.
Oops.
Like this is for anyone who did what I did. When you watch, if you ever watched the Evangelion franchise, for context, the show aired. They ran out of budget. That's why the ending kind of sucks. So when they wanted to make a movie, they ran out of budget again 30 minutes into this movie. So they brought it to theaters with a recap of the show and called this movie Evangelion Death and Rebirth, where Death is a 1-hour recap of the franchise and Rebirth is only the first 30 minutes of End of Evangelion.
Jesus.
And if you watch Rebirth, it sucks because it ends in a spot that's supposed to just pick up in literally the next scene. And when you watch End of Evangelion, it does just that. It's such an unconclusive ending shot that I almost tell people, don't bother watching Rebirth, just watch End of Evangelion. And I feel the same way about this part of Titan. It's like, I don't want to sit here and wait. Like, when the next part comes out, I'm probably going to sit down and watch this whole hour-long special.
We're going to do that.
Into part 2. Like,
no,
just watch it as a 2-hour special.
Yep, we should just plan on that.
All right, cool. So I should stop rewatching the Hanji scene over and over again so I can let
that's like some of the best maneuver gear shit since like Levi or like doing anything.
We got a little bit of it last season with Mikasa at the end, but I was very excited that Map had figured out how to do
that was the little flare.
Again.
They were like, "Oh wait, it's when SpongeBob rediscovers how to make Krabby Patties." Wait a minute. When we draw this in 2D, the people go crazy. Yeah, that scene was literally 10 out of 10. Like, what did we all give this 9? I think I gave it a 9. Freeman, what did you give this on Mal? Anything? Or no, it's because it's not done yet.
I left it unscored because Mal is treating treating it as 2 episodes of a single production.
Yes.
So
you can't score it. Yes.
Done.
Agreed. I forgot. Yes.
And if I had to give it a score, I can't give it a 10 because it has that shitty inconclusive ending.
Yeah, but here's the real question: are you going to give it a 10 when the fucking other part comes out? If it does just as good?
Depends how the ending goes.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I know how it ends, and it's like it's got to. They have a controversial manga ending to work with, but Map has been putting in a lot of detail to correct problems without changing the plot. So I will avoid judgment. I'm gonna go an open-minded and say like, how satisfied do I feel walking away from this franchise?
I'm glad I never got spoiled on any of this crap, and I can just enjoy the ending of this anime. That's amazing.
I can't wait to tell you the out of context spoiler I know, so you can understand what I've been sitting on the last couple of years. But I do not want to ruin it for anyone, so I will tell you guys after we're done.
I'm blessed that I never got spoiled on anything really, because Val and Leslie talk about how Facebook throws spoilers at them. Like over the years, they've always had shit spoiled. Like Leslie and I were talking this weekend, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Reiner and Annie turning into the Titans at the port totally got spoiled for me like a year ago." Or like a year before it came out. And I'm like, damn, that fucking sucks.
Yeah,
you know what?
I do think it's wild because I don't. Well, at least I don't go on social media like that. And
Yeah,
even if I
Facebook
do,
sucks.
I don't get spoiled somehow. So.
Wait, yeah, where are you at on Facebook? That for I should ask, not you, like them. Where are you guys going on Facebook that you're getting spoiled for Attack on Titan?
Random anime pages used to post stuff.
Oh,
like
I'm
that.
sure.
Like, I've left a bunch of them for posting just out of context Titan spoilers when the manga ended. But
All right,
wait, really quick story before we move on.
God.
Sorry. So you know that stupid Attack on Titan junior high school anime?
Yeah, the one we never finished.
Yeah, it spoiled the identity of the Colossal Titan because like for years everyone knew Reiner was the Armored Titan because he looks like the Armored Titan. But there's just one scene where everyone is like at this festival and some people have masks on. Annie's got the female Titan mask.
Oh,
Reiner's
Jesus.
got the armored, and then Bertolt's chilling
Has
there
the
with
colossal.
the Colossal mask.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Why
like,
would you
Are they not even
ever?
hiding it?
So dumb.
So I knew about that before season 2 because specifically because of official Titan media.
So dumb. So dumb.
All right, we're done talking about anime. Let's talk about other stuff.
So, I spoiled this a while ago. I really wish I could have done an LP of this, but I finally played a game that came out in 2023 and beat it. The Dead Space remake. Oh, I am already a quarter of the way through my New Game Plus.
Oh, shit.
I played the Dead Space remake. I can't go into it nearly as much here. The YouTuber Lord Mandalore, he does game reviews that I tend to agree with pretty good. He did a really good breakdown of the remake, as well as Callisto Protocol, which thank fucking God I didn't buy the Callisto Protocol is all I can say.
Hey, man.
Yeah, no, Tyler, that video made me really not want to buy the Callisto Protocol.
Wait, which video?
The Mandalore guy I was just talking about.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Not that he didn't even say
the video I sent you.
Well, that too, but he didn't even make it sound terrible. But I just look at that and I'm like, this is not Dead Space. I want Dead Space, so I don't need melee combat. Thank you very much. I don't need boring melee combat. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about a game I haven't played. Dead Space Remake is literally what I have been asking for since Dead Space 2 came out. They made Isaac talk, and they gave you the good 0G. And honestly, that's all I needed. They tweaked the story to account for Isaac talking. Now it makes a lot more sense when Isaac is like, holy shit, the engines are broken. I will go fix the engines, instead of Hammond being like, Isaac, the engines are broken. It looks like the centrifuge is off. That might be a good thing to turn on to get the fuel going again. And then Isaac just goes off and does it. Like, this makes so much more sense. Getting the voice actor for Isaac back is fantastic. It fits really naturally. I like a lot of the writing. He brings up in his video a little more. I don't think it's that bad, but something about talking about the performances of the new characters, or of the new writing. I do like what they redid with Kendra. I don't think her character really changed that much. She's actually I like what they did. Hammond is a little weird in that he has this huge freak out about one of the red shirts getting killed at the beginning. And the whole game he's like, "Oh my god, is that Chen? Is that the guy who died in the beginning? That's crazy." And like, he has to have killed tons of these things, but he keeps freaking out about this one guy. And I don't know, his death was just a lot more badass in the original game, where he's like staring down that giant, I forget what it's even called, but the giant one, and it just fucking smashes him because he's trapped. In this one, he just kind of gets stabbed and then blows him and Chen up. Spoilers for a game that came out 10 years ago and minor story rewrites. It really doesn't matter. The game controls just like Dead Space 2. It's like the melee feels slightly different. Honestly, biggest disappointment for me is that the lasers don't do what the lasers did in Dead Space 1 and 2, where you can have the lasers each go to maximum distance. You remember what I'm talking about, Tyler?
You demonstrated slightly, like if you're like peeking a corner, like your edge laser.
Oh yeah,
the plasma cutter now all goes short or all goes long, and it's not even the centered one that Dead Space 2 defaulted to, where it just sits in the middle of the screen. It's like a weird hybrid where the whole set of lasers goes to the same distance. It's weird to me. I love how the original gave so much feeling of depth. When you would see a laser tick around a corner, you know that's where your shot's gonna go. But that's such a minor thing. The stomping feels slightly different and is mapped to a weird button by default. Remap that shit to match Dead Space 2. But the way they redesigned some sections of the Ishimura, the way the ship is much more open, I like a lot. Using the tram to go back and forth and revisit old areas. Having some side quests that kind of expand it a little bit. And I'm actually going to try to get the secret ending in my New Game Plus that I'm working on. There's a secret second ending, which is also cool. All the expanded lore is cool. The way they redid Nicole's role is really nice. I like how she gets to be a much more expanded character. There's some shocking stuff in there about the last time her and Isaac ever spoke, which kind of plays into his trauma about her a lot more. Obviously, losing a loved one in like a mysterious thing like the Ishimura was rough in the original game and 2, but the way they've rewritten it to show how their last communication went hits really hard. So that's a great rewrite. Everything involving her and her side quest is good. Getting more expansion on Mercer is good overall. Especially in the sense that Mercer is kind of right. Like, he's not just a nutter butter like he was in the first game. In this game, he actually is like he is actually learning about what the marker does to people. He's just doing it in the most fucked up way possible. Kyne feels like he plays a smaller role than he used to, and he really doesn't feel like he matters at all. Again, Hammond's rewrite is a little weird to be obsessed about Chen. There's really not many other characters, but just a lot of the set pieces are good. The redo of the exterior turret section is good. How they redid all of that is really nice. And frankly, changing the node system where you'd carry around a node to open every single door, reworking that into the security clearance thing. I was a little wary of that at first because, I love the Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2, the trick is always carry an extra powered node with you, and you literally never run into a locked door in the entire game. This game, you actually have to do some backtracking with the security. When you get the master clearance at the end of the game and you unlock a bunch of weapon upgrades, the expanded upgrade system where instead of having a bunch of blank nodes in upgrading your suit and your weapons, now you unlock parts of your weapons and your suit by your suit. Every time you get a new suit, you get more nodes to upgrade. And your guns actually have a base level, and then you find 3 special upgrades that unlock a special ability of your gun, as well as a couple of adjacent nodes. So I like how they did away with I have to throw 10 nodes at the plasma rifle to get 3 upgrades. That was a nice change. I do like that. So overall, I think that's good. I was a good Dead Space boy. I swear to God, my first playthrough of this game, I got the plasma cutter only achievement because that's how Dead Space is supposed to be played in my book. Now I'm enjoying having fully upgraded my suit and plasma cutter, and now every dollar I earn is just going into upgrading every other gun in the game and then testing it out at full upgrade. Line gun and its new trap stuff is awesome. Pulse rifle is okay. I can't wait to try the contact beam. That seems like it's rad. I mean, I don't know if I would say this replaces the original because there is some changes, but to me they're all so minor that I don't know if I would ever tell anybody to go back and that you have to go back and play the original. This remake does what a remake should do, and I think replaces and enhances the original in only good ways. You could definitely say, and again, I would recommend Mandalore's video. It's a great video on it. he does raise some fair points about some changes. Like I said, things like Hammond seems less tough, and some of the dialogue is a little less intense. Like, in the first game, there's the scene where they get attacked at the beginning, and they're like, Kendra and Hammond are like, holy God, oh my God, what just happened? And now they're like, whoa, what happened? That's kind of crazy. But then again, when you know the story of who knows what going into the game, it actually makes more sense a little bit. But just overall, those are all minor quibbles. The gameplay is still fantastic. Dead Space. I'm so thrilled to be able to play a new Dead Space game, even though it's still on the Ishimura. The expanded story, the tweaks to the story, the things that actually changed. Like I said, Nicole's story got redone, but also involving like the marker and her has been changed a little bit to make more sense, which I really love. Fantastic remake. I can't wait to finish my New Game Plus. I'm not going to do the Impossible run. That's too much stress, and I don't have an interest in that. But I'll finish my New Game Plus run, and then I'll just have this in my back pocket to install and play anytime.
Nice.
I know that went on for a minute, but yeah.
So in your mind, does this replace the original? Like, is this the go-to?
That's what I was saying. This
version?
is the go-to version, I think, of Dead Space 1.
Freeman, don't waste too much time. Tim goes on rant about Dead Space.
I know, sorry. To be
I
fair,
don't care.
this is the only... No. This isn't another anime that we're talking about a season. This is the only video game I'm probably going to finish this entire year, okay?
He's not wrong, but ouch.
No, I go on the rants for anime too, but I'm just saying this is the only game I'm probably going to play this entire year that I'll finish. But yeah, that's it. I really wanted to get that off my chest. I put in a lot of every spare hour was getting into this, and it was worth. Still not sure if I'd rank this above Dead Space 2. But I would, man, if Dead Space 2 got this treatment,
I think when
so
the price goes down, I'll pick this up.
If you liked the first game, this is only an improvement.
It's funny. For some reason, I never I forget shit very easily. Even though I played the first one probably like 3 or 4 times. Oh god, excuse me. I'm getting sleepy. I always liked it though. Like I played the first 2 like quite a few times, and I liked them. And when I saw you play this, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to play this at some point.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want Michelle to experience it, but she's like, I hate horror. I'm like, what?
Tyler, you should. I would talk to her, or you can tell her like you know me. You've known me a long time. I don't like horror. This game.
But you like Evil Within too, though.
You're right, and I love this game. They have some spooky elements, but the gameplay is just so fun that I don't care.
No, she's not. She could barely watch me play Callisto Protocol.
I mean, if that's the case, that if she can barely watch you play that, then yeah, that's a higher level than I'm at. Then that's fair.
Yeah, like she just can't do it.
Tyler, all you have to do is do the impossible difficulty run, where you get the foam finger, and then let her do a foam finger run of this game, and then she'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
Freeman, do you know about this at all?
No, I don't.
Dead Space has had a thing where if you beat the game on the hardest difficulty, I think it was in the first game and the second game. I don't know if I ever did it in the second game. I can't remember. I don't think I did. If you beat the game on the hardest difficulty, which only lets you save like one time, and I think any death means your game is over or something. It's some crazy rules.
Oh, it's like a hardcore run.
Yes, it's like impossible run or hardcore run. If you beat the game, you can do a new game plus, where as a weapon, you get a foam finger that Isaac points at things and says bang, and they literally, like, all of their explodable limbs just fly off. So Isaac just points his foam finger and it's just bang, 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 bang. Like, that's what he does. It's the funniest thing in the world. It's a great Easter egg. So that's why I'm saying that's not scary. What's a horror game about that? You're not cutting limbs off. You're just pointing a foam finger at people and yelling bang, bang, bang.
Nah, she still won't go for it.
No, I know. That's fair. Tyler, why don't you talk about a movie, though?
Oh, yeah. I watched the first Mission Impossible finally after a bajillion years.
I still haven't seen it.
I
Dude.
don't remember it.
I
I've
mean,
seen it. I just don't remember.
it's got all the me. Like I was like, oh hey, I've
Dun,
seen
dun,
all these
dun,
memes. I've heard this song before,
dun. Yeah.
and it was stuck in my head for 24 hours. It was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. I see why people liked it. I see why it like garnered like a following. I still don't understand why there's fucking 8 of them, but whatever. Still pretty cool.
Actually, you just reminded me. The poster for the next one came out like today or yesterday.
Uh,
Honestly, it's one of the most interesting posters I've seen in a while. It's
oh,
like a big
hold on.
vertical. It's like a super vertical shot of Tom Cruise jumping off a cliff on a motorcycle with a what looks like a parachute on his back. But it's like the motorcycle is under the Mission Impossible lettering, and then he's above it, and he clearly just rode off a cliff. It's pretty cool.
What is it? 7?
No, it's 8.
Oh, it
Good
is
lord.
8.
No, wait, maybe I'm lying. 1, 2, 3, Rogue Nation. No, Ghost Protocol, then Rogue Nation, then Fallout, then this one. This is 7.
Okay, so this is 7.
Pretty
Okay.
positive this is 7.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Can't believe I remembered all the names of them. I feel like they're so all over the place.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Michelle's like, you're gonna keep watching the rest of them. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe if I get bored, I
The
just like
last
that
3, Tyler, I don't. 2, I remember was kind of meh. 3 was has some good stuff, but like 4, 5, and 6 are all really solid action movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I might give them a try. We'll see. Nothing. I haven't had an overwhelming urge to watch
Yeah, it's
the
fair.
second one after. But I'll let you know if I do, and you as well, listeners.
Yay.
Um, but as far as sequential games go, I talked about Resident Evil earlier. See, to me, I officially beat all the games that matter to me in the Resident Evil series. Since our last talk, I've beaten Resident Evil 5, 7, and 8.
Tyler, what? I don't understand. Why is 6 missing?
Why is the giraffe getting a blowjob missing? Well, I'll tell you, because that game fucking blows.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oof.
However, I'm here to unfortunately say that I'm playing Resident Evil 6 right now.
I fucking knew it. I knew you were gonna be like, I'm playing 6 because I just have to play them all.
No, it's not even that.
Then what
Well,
is
now
the...
it is. It turned into that. So my friend, it's a big fucking meme
Of course
in my
it is.
Discord that Tyler doesn't want to play 6. They're like, oh, why aren't you playing 6? I'm like, because it's bad. And none of them know, right? None of them know because none of them have watched me. The only exposure, except for Aiden, and Aiden's never played 6 either. The only exposure to them seeing Resident Evil is me playing through all of them. So like they've watched me play through all of these games, and they're like, the meme is like, oh, you're gonna play all these games, but not gonna play 6. I'm like, listen, I swapped out a 6 for I don't know 5 or whatever. I'm like,
Mm,
I was like, I played the same number amount of games, just Code Veronica replaced 6, and that was a hard ass game. And they're
but
like,
then that just
nah,
ate at you.
it didn't eat at me because I didn't buy this game.
Oh.
So Capcom had a big sale in January, and that's when I bought all the games that I didn't have. So I bought 0, 1, the second remake, and 7. I got them all for like $25. It was pretty good deal actually. Um, and of course I didn't buy 6 because I didn't plan on ever having 6. Well, Capcom, for the Capcom announcements, they put up this big sale. Like everything Capcom had was on sale. Actually, I even thought about buying Devil May Cry 5 because it was on sale for like $10.
Oh shit! I should have done that.
Yeah, I was like, damn, these are like some banger deals. Like all the Resident Evil games were on sale. So much so that my friend bought Resident Evil 6 for me.
Aw.
And he's like, I want to, like, he's like, I need to watch you play it, and I'm like, I really don't want to play this game. And they're like, but I don't understand why it's so bad. I was like, well, let me put it in context for you. I was like, this game almost made me never pick up another Resident Evil game ever again.
Damn.
I was like, this was basically Lightning Returns for Resident Evil for me. Like,
Oh, geez, that
it was
bad.
bad, dude. It was bad. Like that stretch of games for the PS3 were bad. Like literally, two of my beloved franchise that I loved playing were almost fucking killed for me because those games just were ass.
Mm.
Like 6 was terrible. I literally was out, and honestly, yeah, I never picked up a Resident Evil game until 7. 7 came out, and I was like, you know what, fine, screw it, I'll give it a try. They're doing something different, and I was like, all right, this is pretty good.
Oof.
But yeah, like it was like it's bad. And so it's funny, right? So I started playing it, and he's like, "You don't have to keep playing it." I was like, "Well, now I gotta keep playing it because I
Uh-huh.
have to fucking now. I hate this." And I was playing, so it gets split up into different characters, right? I just beat Ada's today before getting on with you guys. I was playing not like 30 minutes to an hour of Ada's, and like everybody in the Discord was like, "God damn, what is this?" They're like, this is awful to like look at and watch. I was like, yeah, you guys didn't believe me. They're like, it's not that we didn't believe you, but we had to see it for ourselves. I'm like, you guys suck.
I'd experienced the disappointment firsthand.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, you guys at least get to see it. Like, I have to literally experience it. So yeah. Um. So whatever.
So
I'm
wait,
playing Resident Evil 6.
controversial question.
Yeah.
If they remade 6, would you play it?
I mean, yeah,
Depends on how the 5 remake is.
dude. Oh my god. I kind of hope they don't, but at this rate, I think they are. But I don't see why they would. Like a lot of the things that they did afterwards, like I think, well, I guess it's kind of loose, but I honestly don't see why they would remake 5. Like, I don't know, maybe they would.
At which point of the game's too new to remake?
Clearly never.
7, because 7 was, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of their content, like their newer stuff, is like can be pretty vague. At least like the movies, like you can place them at any timeline like you want, but I think like these new remake series I've mentioned before is um canonical, but they skipped. So like I think that, and I think when they're remaking these, I think they're only doing the numbered series. So like I don't know. I think they would stop at 7 though. Like obviously like they're not gonna keep cycling through.
Yeah.
Because 6 was and like I could see them remaking up to 6 because 6 was so poorly uh like taken. Like a lot of people didn't like that game.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. It got like pretty like bad reviews. But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. And then 7 came out, and then I have no idea what made them decide to start like doing them all over again. I got no clue. They were just like, we're just gonna start doing them over again. I know they wanted to redo the first game for GameCube to like, you know, take care of some continuity issues.
Yeah.
Uh, but that the PS1 version had. But like, yeah, I don't really know. Especially after they're like, yo, fuck it, we're gonna do Resident Evil 2 again after fucking 15 years of not having a remake. And everybody kind of shrugged their shoulders and they're like, all right, and they turned out to be really good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, whatever. I do want, instead of talking about 5, 7, and 8 though, I do want to hear about Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme. It's bobsled time.
Get on
Whatever the
up. It's
fuck.
bobsled time.
Yeah.
Cool runnings. All right, so this will close it out. So, my buddy Dave is always trying to show me and his wife some like older movies that he liked, but some of our other friends straight up just will not watch older movies. So we finally had an opportunity to watch Cool Runnings, which I I knew nothing about this movie. It's very, very loosely based on the was it the 1988 Jamaican bobsled team. This is a fun, feel-good Disney sports movie that the whole family can enjoy. It's very much in the like Mighty Ducks, Angels in the Outfield kind of era of movies. And I'm almost upset I didn't watch this when I was a kid because I feel like I would have loved it. And it has that little bit of magic of kids movies that just like movies like this don't get made anymore. So I did definitely enjoy going back and watching it. I wish Disney did more like this. It was a very fun experience. It's the kind of movie where it's also like a almost timeless movie. Like I can imagine you can show this to kids now and they'd still like enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I love that movie when I was a kid, and I would still watch it now. Actually,
It definitely holds up. Like whenever my buddy's like, "Let's watch an old movie I liked when I was a kid," my question is always just like, "How much of the humor doesn't pass in 2020?" And this this is a Disney movie. All the humor passes in the current year. So solid watch. I don't know what I would score this. I told Tim separately that I'm not going to go and score my back catalog of movies, but I'm thinking that going forward I'll start scoring stuff on Letterboxd. But I need to start figuring out like what my standard scoring is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because I have no clue. But yeah,
Well,
that's it.
With that, we are. Wait, there's one more. No, I'm kidding. We're we're running late. We're running long. We need to end it here. So, thank you all so much for listening. We got through quite a lot. It took over an hour to get to the Weeb shit, which is crazy. And then we only did 40 minutes for what we watched and played. You know, that's like a record. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening. We will be back hopefully in 2 weeks, and we won't have to miss a week next time due to illness. But with everything that's been going around, let's not bet on it.
Yeah, you never know.
But until next time, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
just only Tyler.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.